Greetings and salutations, fans of Dota 2. It is I, Badger, once again back for some more League of Legends Season 6 action. You were on the late night hour. Just me tonight. And we should be in for a pretty good series. This is a playoff Dota 2 action here. We have the Funny Zone up against Polarass. Polarass were the 6th seeded team with a 12-10 record. Meanwhile, Funny Zone had the 7 seed with a 10-12 record after a rigorous set of tiebreakers, so both teams are fairly evenly matched record-wise. However, these teams did play during the round-robin stage of the group stage. It was a 2-0 victory for Polarass, so that 2-game margin they had in the standings was solely from that, well, not solely, but can be entirely contained within that 2-0 victory over the Funny Zone. So I, for one, am excited to see what happens. It's been 2 months since that series. Are Funny Zone ready to own? Have they adjusted? Has the shift in the patch benefited them? You never know. Either way, though, looking over at the bans, we've got Rubik and Earth Spirit being banned out by the Polarass. Invoker and Timbersaw being banned out by the Funny Zone. Saw a first overall pick of the Tusk, followed up by a response pick Gyro, followed up by a response pick Ancient Apparition into the IO. So the Ancient Apparition pick likely predicting that there's going to be a Gyro plus IO combo. Not sure how they're going to run the Gyro or the IO yet. Both of them can be support, both of them can be carry. You never know with these things. Dota 2 truly is a crazy and wild game sometimes. The Tusk and the AA a little more obvious. I would expect it to be a 4 Tusk and a 5 AA, though we have seen some crazy things. I know there have been some Lads players that have been playing around with Tusk mid recently. Not to great success, but you know what? You never know when something's going to succeed. AA obviously can be mid, but once again, I'm expecting a 4 or 5 there. Now we have Radiant, they're banning out the Sand King. Dire are banning out the Juggernaut, so it should be a relatively standard set of bans there, banning out strong offlaner, strong carry. Jug in particular, very strong in this patch. And it makes sense at this point. Polarass trying to remove some kind of good offlaners. Well, Funny Zone say, you know what, we have our carry here in our 2 picks more than likely, so let's ban out your strong carries, you know. Have everything good to go. Either way, though, we'll be waiting on this next phase of bans to continue. Clockwork has been banned. Obviously, powerful 4-based hero. At times, can be very annoying to a hero like Ancient Apparition if you can get on top. Can disrupt the Tusk initiation. All kinds of great stuff there. I am definitely going to need some more water in between games, but it's going to be okay. We're seeing a PA ban for the Dire, a Nyx ban for the Radiant, and the Underlord ban for the Dire. Either way, though, we are seeing now the second phase of picks. Now the Underlord has been banned. Funny Zone making sure to ban out the Underlord, saying, you know what, we don't want this to lane into our safe lane duo. So all is well. Had to do a quick correspondence real fast. But, yeah, all is well. Was just checking on some stuff. We are just, I'm not sure what they're going to go for the Funny Zone. Probably a 4 or a 3 here. Would likely be a, likely going to be their 4 or their 3 coming up here. Because we're expecting the Gyro carry with the IO5. It is the more common and probably more logical orientation of the stuff. So we'll see some kind of 4 here come out right here, right now. That's your Earthshaker. That's going to be your 4. That's going to head over to the offlane for sure. The question is who will be not necessarily supported by, but who will the Earthshaker be supporting? For Polarass, now you see, alright, you see one side lane, it's Gyro IO. You see another side lane, it's Earthshaker plus, I'm not sure who yet, probably some melee strength core, but obviously there are alternatives that are not melee and are not strength, so we'll have to see there in that sense. Very excited to see if Polar Ass actually go for an offlaner here or not. They're almost certain they're laning into the Gyro IO, but the question is, what do you actually want to lane into those heroes? Certainly going to need some degree of sustain, simply for the fact that they're going to be sustaining as well with the IO. Obviously, very macro efficient in terms of regen by having the IO in your lane. And they allow for the Mars, so possibly even a completely different angle, saying, you know what, maybe we can kill you with the Spear, plus God's Rebuke, plus the tag team from Tusk. Possibly catch someone out of position in the lane, though it'll almost certainly have to be the Gyro, because if you do it to the IO can tether away if the vision is good enough, or if the Gyro is positioned properly. Either way, though, clear plan is, you know, we don't care. You have this Gyro IO combo, this renowned safe lane combo. We're gonna hit it head on with this Tusk Mars thing. Got some real melee strength cores going on here, some real manly strength heroes. Funny Zone, though, picked the antithesis of the melee strength hero. They picked Puck. Almost certainly going to be their mid laner for Koryak, obviously a very capable Puck player. Which means Funny Zone will be waiting on their offlaner for the 24 pick, saying, you know what, no matter what, we are going to have one of our lanes be counterpicked. We would rather have this Puck hero be counterpicked. And sure, you can pick a Void Spirit, you can pick a hero like that can lane well into the Puck, but we're confident enough the Puck fits well enough within our grand strategy that we don't care if you just say pick Void Spirit to counter it in lane. So at this point, what Funny Zone are working with is they have a very dangerous combination of heroes. You have the IO relocate with the Gyro, you have the Blink Puck at some point, you have the Blink Shaker at some point. That is an unbelievable ability to threaten heroes around the map. Like, if these heroes are missing, you have to be. You could even be showing the Gyro on the map, but if you have the IO missing or the Shaker missing or the Puck missing, there's suddenly this massive threat of, oh, I might just die. And Polar Ass say, you know what? We will not. We're not going to avoid death. We're going to accept death. We're going to pick a hero who is one of his fundamental capabilities. Fundamental capabilities in the kit is quite literally dying. So it'll be the Wraith King carry. Obviously, a relatively versatile safe laner can lane into most offlaners relatively decently, and the ones where you can't, you can head into the jungle very early. Obviously, with the skeletons. So I like to pick that from Polar Ass. Makes a lot of logical sense. Polar Ass to ban out the OD. So you know what? Actually, I don't want to ban out the OD. Maybe respect ban. I'm not sure if Shrek plays an offlane or not, but it seems like a sort of hero that Shrek would play. Funny Zone banning out the Ember. Might ban out a Void Spirit as well. I'm not sure what they're thinking in terms of like what do they not want to play against for the Puck. They're probably asking Koryak, hey, what do you not want to play against? Apparently one of them is the Ember. Other one might be the Void Spirit. You never know. At this point, though, we are headed towards the end of the draft. We are on the penultimate ban currently, the last ban for the Polar Ass side, if we're being more specific. And at this point, it's probably just ban out some kind of either offlane hero or flex hero, and they ban out the Void Spirit. So maybe they're not entirely sure what this Puck is. Maybe they know something that I don't. Maybe they think, hey, this Puck isn't middle lane. Maybe they think, hey, maybe it's a Puck 3, perhaps. Where you think the Void Spirit fits in well with the strategy, you want to ban that out. Funny Zone, though, but ban out the Kunkka. Obviously, very annoying hero to deal with in general, very tanky. Sort of hero who actually can tank through your combo if he has the boat buff on him. Similar idea with Ember. Actually, Ember can easily escape a gank thanks to his insane mobility. So the Ember ban making more sense now. Now that I think about it a little bit deeper. Here we go, though. It's time to select your middle lane hero. Not necessarily sure if it's going to be into the Puck or not. I still suspect it will be the Puck middle lane, but you never know sometimes with Dota 2. A lot of the Puck counters have been banned, partially by Funny Zone, partially by Polar Ass, so might be a hero like Death Prophets. Might just be a more tanky hero in general, maybe a Shrek or something. Not a hero I expected, but certainly in the tanky mold that is a Magnus. Obviously can combo well with the Mars and the Wraith King applying that Empower Cleave, that Empower extra damage. certainly capable of farming himself with said Empower, and with obviously the Shockwave and the Skewer as well. It's a lot of Disable. We're seeing Disable on all 3 of Polar Ass's cores. Obviously the RP on Magnus, the Arena and the Spear on Mars, the Stun on Wraith King. So we notice that some teams that in Lads just lack stuns. They pick these heroes that just lack stuns. They pick like an Underlord offlane. They pick like, I don't know, some kind of middle lane or lack of stuns. Say a Viper middle lane. And pick like a Slark carry. You suddenly lack these disables. Polar Ass not going to lack the disables at all. It's not even going to be a conversation. Either way, though, Funny Zone say we're going to pick a Razor. We don't want to have any fun, and we don't want you to have any fun. We want... Basically, what Funny Zone wants to do is have 4 players in the lobby having fun, and that's the 4 members of their team that are not Shrek, because Shrek is not going to have fun. Unless he is truly a sadistic man that enjoys stealing the damage of Sonic God. Either way, though. We do see the Puck middle. Actually, a very classic matchup we've seen for many, many years. This is like a throwback to like the 2012, 2013 sort of Puck versus Mag matchup we used to really see back in my heyday. We're seeing it again in the year 2021, so we're turning back the clock on that one. In the side lanes, we're going to have Wraith King plus AA up against Razor and Earthshaker, so I would expect that lane to go towards Shrek and Baboon. But you never know sometimes. Dota is truly a game of inches, so it could be, you know, a little misplay here, a little misplay there, but the Link, obviously a very potent tool. Wouldn't be surprised if Sonic God goes to the jungle, let's say, level 3, level 4. And then in the final side lane, we're looking at the Io Gyro up against the Mars Tusk. That probably is the lane to watch. I would expect the kill attempts to happen from both teams in that lane. Might even see a rotation from Baboon with the Fishers to secure a kill, perhaps. You never know. Either way, though, my name is Badger, and we are here for game number 1 of the late night matchup. Slightly more softer, slightly more softer toned playoff matchup. Nice calm commentator tonight. If you missed who's playing what, it's on your screen right now. I might be interchanging the name Shrek and the Green Knight for Shrek the Green Knight. I guess Shrek's name is S. the Green Knight, so if you're wondering who Shrek is, it is the Razor. Would expect most of the players in the lobby to know this is Shrek, but just in case, have some non-familiar with lads' names and lads' vernacular stuff. Seeing some fun in the all chat here, you know, some chat lines from both teams. Even a tip on core react from Aurora. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute! We're seeing the IO carry. Wait a minute. We are seeing the IO carry. This is crazy. I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, it certainly was possible that this would happen. But traditionally you see the Gyro 1, the IO 5. This game, though, we've got Smiley playing the IO and Aurora playing the Gyro 5. So that's certainly interesting. I mean, they're talking about it in the pregame chat. The possibility of an IO carry, and the two teams are bantering back and forth. IO carry, IO carry. We have IO carry. It has arrived, so should be interesting for sure. A little bit surprised they went for it, but it's certainly a bold option. Obviously, Gyro has seen an upswing in play as a support in pub games recently, just in general. On this sort of stage, though, a little bit surprised, but you know, I like to see something different, and it certainly is different. You can see a little bit of throwback action with that Helm of the Dominator on the IO rush. I'm not sure what he's going to go for afterwards, but IO is a very unique hero. There really are not that many strength ranged heroes. I mean, there's IO, there's Huskar. I think Snapfire's strength, so that's 3. That's about it. So it's a very unique dynamic there, those strength ranged heroes, you know. Either way, though, we are back. Obviously, wards are on these 4s right now, on Baboon, on Fatal Uno. Both of them have the boost, have the Observer. Getting that fast ward up ASAP. We're seeing Dire. They are headed 5 into their own jungle. Radiant are heading 3 into the aggressive jungle, but if they're fighting 5v3, might not go too well for them. Baboon positioned very aggressively. Shrek headed into their Roshan pit, but they're just going to hide there, I'm assuming. Yeah, that's... yeah, that was a very obvious assumption. Either way, though, we have Polar playing 3 on the high ground. We have, never mind, they're out of the Roshan pit. They are moving onto the high ground. They do see Nika, I think. They do see Nika now. Link is there. He can see. Okay, he has skilled Skewer. The Fissure is late. There is a missile on the way from Aurora, but yeah, a little bit of damage. Ultimately, everyone is fine. And Aurora actually does not have Rocket Barrage now, level 1, so it will be a little bit hard to train the lane. Tag Team is there, Cold Feet is there, doing a lot of damage to Aurora, and it'll be First Blood to Cello Mellow. And they go on to Baboon, they're looking for Mr. J. Curto over here. Fissure is available. There's now 4 Radiant Heroes here. He might be a second casualty. Cold Feet is there, in comes the Skewer. He is slowed now, but they'll need a little bit more damage. He might simply try to deny to the tower. And that appears to be what Baboon is trying. He will deny to that tier 3 tower. So 2 kills for Polar, and they're off to a fantastic start. Certainly the sort of thing you want to start as. You've gotten those 2 kills. You forced the Gyro to skill Homing Missile level 1 rather than Barrage. And sure, it will do some damage. Had he had Rocket Barrage, would do a lot more damage in these trades right now. Bottom lane though. Cello has not arrived yet, but he will arrive soon for the full-on 2v2. Link will get used onto Sonagod, but Sonagod will be fine. Top lane, Seems might take a lot of damage, but he'll be okay. We're seeing pings in the bottom lane. Yeah, we're seeing the Earthshaker simply block the small camp with his body, not wasting the ward on it. We'll put the ward aggressively. We actually are seeing a Wraith King stun, though. Cold Feet is there, will not get triggered, so Shrek a little bit too fast. Baboon is there, has the Fissure, but will not need to use it. Middle lane, as I mentioned earlier, very skill-based matchup, traditionally. Nowadays, would probably expect Puck to have a slightly higher chance of winning just from Rune Luck alone, but if both heroes are farming, both should be content with getting their farm with their magic nukes. We're seeing a missile top lane on Whole City, but Whole City will walk away. Will tank the damage, actually, but he'll be okay. No harm, no foul. Aurora actually running low on mana already, but he'll be okay as well. Can't link up with the IO. He does level 2 now, but lacks the mana for his full combo on the Gyro, so won't matter just yet. Middle lane, Nika actually had a pretty good advantage in the CS. He's 13-2 versus Puck 7-0. Obviously, Magnus does have a lot more damage now, so it will be hard for Puck to deny creeps. And Magnus will have a better time denying, but not an easy time denying either way. We're seeing the Link bottom. Sonagod's being run at. The Cold Feet is there. Shrek will walk backwards. Everybody is going to be okay. Top lane, Tag Team is there looking for Smiley, but he will link over to Aurora. As I mentioned earlier, not the easiest time in the world. Killing the IO. Baboon is looking for the Fissure bottom. We'll actually get used in Sonagod. They need a little bit more damage, though. Baboon has no abilities left. Neither does Shrek, so it will be a salve on Sonagod. He'll be A-okay. Back to top lane. Still waiting on a... I'm a little surprised there has been no real significant kill attempts top lane. We've seen some abilities thrown out, but no full committals just yet. We've seen most of the full committals be bottom lane with the Fissure and with the Link, so... Perhaps I misjudged the flow of the lanes. This is a distinct possibility, let's put it that way. Happens sometimes. Yeah, we're seeing once again missile stuns being thrown out top lane. Fatal Uno does have the snowball though, so he can't dodge the rockets if and when it's required. Oh, that's a very bad coordination there from Radiant top lane. They have the shards and Fatal Uno, but the God's Rebuke from Whole City brought Aurora over the shards. And Aurora was completely fine there. Probably would not have been a full kill, even with the tag team damage, but certainly would have forced out a lot the salve of Aurora rather than just, you know, giving Aurora 2-stick charges for like 90 damage. Back to bottom lane, we are seeing Baboon rotate to that bottom rune. scout out that 4-minute rune. Shrek will have to be a little bit alone for now, but he should be relatively fine. We'll tank some damage from that Chilling Touch, but he'll be okay. Baboon's actually fully committed middle lane. Nika checked bottom for the rune. It was not bottom, it was top, so Koryak... Never mind, it will go to Fatal Uno, who is also at the top rune. Completely missed that somehow. But he's now top lane. He'll hit Aurora for a little bit of damage, but... Aurora simply walking away. We're seeing a stun on Shrek bottom, but Shrek should be okay. He'll walk away. Especially with Baboon rotating, or with that Fissure. He does have those Tranquils now. Back to top lane, Spear will miss Whole City. And Fatal Uno is once again going to look for Aurora, but this ward is very good at scouting out this Tusk's movement. Yeah, tag team is there. There's the shards. It will miss, but it will disrupt Aurora. There goes a snowball. There is a spear. Will be used, and the kill will go to Whole City onto the support 5-roll gyro. So kill score, it is still nothing on the board for the Funny Zone. There's now 3 kills on the board for Polar Ass. Back to the mid lane, Nika doing a great job here, actually. He is up 37-2 to Puck's 26-1, so well played to him. Doing a very good job of simply getting all his last hits. And with the Falling Blade, it should be relatively easy to do so, and he's making sure he gets every single last hit he can. Bottom lane, Link is there. Stun is exchanged from the Wraith King. Cold Feet and Chilling Touch are there on Shrek, but Shrek, once again, doing the tried and tested strategy of just walking away. Not much counterplay there for him on that one. With Fatal Uno being missing top lane, they are doing a little bit of damage to Whole City, but Fatal Uno will rotate back to top lane again. We will return to the status quo of neither team particularly dying other than maybe Gyro. But before he gets back, Missile is there, but he is speared by Whole City. In comes the Missile, in comes the Rocket Barrage, in comes the Shard. It's a fantastic Shards in Fatal Uno, but it might not be enough, and it is enough. Great save there from Fatal Uno on Whole City. And now at the rune, Fissure is there. Nika, though, will grab the double damage rune. There's the Coil from Koryak. Can they get the kill? Baboon actually dies. Koryak will get the counter kill, but Nika, making the best out of a bad situation, turns what is certainly a death for him into a 1-for-1, so... But the overall winner of the engagement certainly is Koryak, who is now free to hit some creeps. Is content with his opponent, the Magnus, being dead. Either way, though, Polar Ass still at the advantage so far in this game. They are slightly up economically, about 5 gold lead. In terms of kill score, they are up by 3 still. Osteo is still both teams' game. There's a Fissure bottom lane on Sonic God, but Sonic God will walk away. We'll get linked by Shrek. We'll lose a good bit of damage, but we're getting to the point now where Sonic God might just head into the jungle. Has level 3 in that Vampiric Spirit, level 3 Skeletons there. Might get the 6 charges and head to the jungle, possibly to the Tri-Camp, and be content with not being, you know, linked by Razor. We are seeing a rotation from Fatal Uno, so perhaps they will look for a kill here with Link being on cooldown, if they know the cooldown. There's the Shards. It actually will barely miss on Shrek, but in comes a Snowball. Will hit on 2. Cold Feet is there on Shrek. Can they finish him? The Cold Feet has stunned. Fatal Uno taking a lot of damage. Is a 1 kill on the Tusk so far. And now Aurora has rotated. The Missile is there. It is homing onto Ancient Apparition. The Cold Feet is there in Baboon. But now it's a 2-man coil from Koryak. He has arrived. Down goes Cello, and they will get Sonic God as well. It will be 3 kills for the side of the Funny Zone. Funny Zone went for the 3-man kill attempt on the Funny Zone, and all 3 die, and they get nothing in return. So a fantastic situation there. And fantastic team play from the Funny Zone. Nika and Whole City will be content to farm in their lanes, but for Whole City was not a free farm experience. Obviously still has an IO to tangle with. Nika, a little more free there. Looking over items, Nika on the Magnus is opting for the Echo Saber first, so... It's probably the big question is whether it will be Echo or Blink first. He says, you know what, I will go for the Echo, I will prioritize my own farm. I will make sure I do not fall behind economically. He will be able to obviously use the Echo Saber to farm the Blink more efficiently, and I would highly expect it to be a second item Blink from Nika, but you never know sometimes. Looking at Sonic God, standard affair from the Wraith King. We're seeing the Gloves of Haste into the Radiance, into the Blink BKB, so just standard stuff there. Looking at the Razor, Not sure what Shrek's buying. I believe he has phase boot. Yeah, he has phase boots on the courier. So phase boots possibly could go into a Yules. Possibly could go into an SNY or a BKB. Probably not the BKB right away, but probably later in the game. Koryak? What does Koryak have on the courier? He has a keen optic, so we're not sure what's happening yet on the puck. From what I've seen with Koryak, though, he usually opts for the Witch's Blade in a lot of heroes, including on puck, so it might be a Witch's Blade into like a Blink Ags. Not sure just yet. This game obviously could use the early Blink, but they will also have a Blink relatively soon on Baboon. He is 1,400 gold away, so that's, say a fight goes well, that's a relatively early Blink on the Shaker. Looking at the IO, as mentioned earlier, it is the Helm of the Dominator. I believe it's fully finished now. Yeah, it's a fully finished Helm of the Dominator, so IO will be able to accelerate there. Not sure what he's going to go for afterwards just yet. Yeah, for those who are just joining us, it is game 1 of the best of 3 between Polar Ass and the Funny Zone. Was scheduled to start relatively late, and even though it was scheduled to start late, the game was further late beyond that, so we didn't get up and going until about 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, the time which I am in, and the time which most of these players are in, so we are still now waiting on this pause from Koryak. Classic Connecticut internet, which I have I have talked about multiple times in pauses when it is either Koryak or Aurora being disconnected, as it is a shared bond of the crappy internet in our states, so we might see an aggressive attempt here by Hull City and Fatal Uno. The arena is there from the Mars. Tusk obviously has that tag team, so it might be a kill attempt on a Gyro. The IO one will be a little bit harder, but if they can get it, it's a much more impactful kill. Looking at the vision, Radiant have a relative idea what's going on. They saw something on the high ground, so they know it's somebody over here. I believe they know Aurora is there. Looking at Dire, they are pinging out, so Shrek is pinging out. I'm not sure what he's pinging. Say, is it a get back ping? Is it a fight this here ping? Hard to tell sometimes. Also in the Magnus pick, I'm a little surprised they went for the Magnus pick, but I was saying during the draft that that it would make a lot of sense to go for a really tanky sort of hero to just tank out the puck in the lane, be hard to kill with this relocate and the Earthshaker in the later game, and they certainly went for it. With the way Nick is farming so far, I think he's going to have a lot of impact this game, going like Echo into Blink into like BKB type stuff, so I think a lot of it predicated on how the Magnus would lane, and I thought Magnus would draw a relatively even lane. Instead, Magnus has had a pretty significant win in the lane, looking at the 69-3 CS-wise instead of 48-1 of the puck. Puck obviously has rotated away, so that it's like a -5 CS right there, but regardless, the margin cannot be explained away by one rotation. It's just a straight-up lane win by Nika, and that's well played to him on that one on the Magnus. Got some tips in the chat. Got Aurora is tipping Hull City over the line. Dear God. And I pulled Hull City. Damn, I had a hard time focusing in this top lane. Dave's so effing cute. Dear Lord. I'm gonna make no comment on that one. Just absolutely zero comment on that one. From what I can tell, it is a lag issue, so we are waiting on Koryak to return. Possibly he's dialing up, I don't know, Spectrum or Comcast, Optum, whoever's provider is, saying, please give me internet. Lads playoffs is on the line. It's worth no money, but the pride is very important. My captain keeps all chatting the enemy team. I need to prove that we can beat their player who all chats constantly as well. It's okay though. We're so we have the Sherlock Holmes on the case have figured out that it might be internet down, but might be internet flickering actually. So we're seeing some troubleshooting going on from both teams. A lot of speculative stuff in the chat. Not sure, not sure what the resolution will be just yet. In terms of overall impact of the series, though, this is a win or go home series. The winner advances to the lower bracket quarterfinals. The loser goes home. So this best of 3, if you lose the best of 3, your series and your season is absolutely over. Looking at the bracket, I believe the winner of this game goes on to play the loser of Nebula versus Dark W. So probably Dark W. No offense to any Nebula fans out there, but Dark W is still the odds-on favorites to win the tournaments. Regardless, the loser of Dark W Nebula will play the winner of this series. So either Nebula or Dark W will play the winner of this series. Whoever ends up being, whether it is the Funny Zone or it is Polar Ass. We are, hopefully things will return relatively soon. Both teams still in a good mood. It is still a relatively early in the night, 10:42 currently on my clock. And we might be here for a while. This might be a series that goes into well past midnight, might go to 12:30 in the evening, might go to 1 a.m. in the evening. If we're particularly unlucky, this could be like a 1:30 or 2 a.m. in the evening series, so I'm hoping it's not too late. Oh, Koryak has returned! We are back on Puck. We are all 10 in the lobby. Get to drink my water. Be ready to go. Not exactly sure if we're going to see a fight here at the shrine sort of area. I believe that is the... Yeah, I'm just going to go over Networth now. I don't need last hits. As expected, Magnus on top. Puck, Mars, Io not far behind. Wraith King, Razor being the back of the cores area. And Dire supports the Earthshaker and the Gyro ahead of the AA and the Tusk. If anyone's curious about kills and deaths, they are on the screen as well now. Puck 2-0. Mars 1-0. Currently both Baboon and Aurora, despite being ahead of the Radiant supports in Networth, have died both twice. And as mentioned, Sonic God is fully into this jungle still. He says, you know what, I don't want to be here into this static link. It's not fun. I am not interested in it. I will leave. Use my skeletons. We have the answer. He has Spectrum Internet, so that's, as the kids would say, a real yikes there. Certainly not a reputable internet provider in most areas. Oh, we are going. We are trying. I'm not sure if we're going to see resolution just yet, but we are going to see an attempt. Alright, we're going to see a lot of pings here. It'll be a fight. There comes the tag team. There comes the Shard. Spear is there. Stun is there as well. Aurora, relatively low. He is snowball stunned now, doing a little bit more damage. And the damage, it is there. Another kill for Fatal Uno. Aurora now has third death of the game. But it's not a very consequential death. Smiley will return to farming. Radiant will try to push in this top tower, but they will lack the minute 10 siege unit because it's, you know, minute 9 still. So probably won't be a very successful tower attempt. Either way though, Cello Mellow is isolated bottom lane. I'm not sure if they know if Sonic God is in the jungle shallow or in the jungle deep. But I guess with this ward now, fully know, hey, Sonic God's not here. He's super deep. Possibly headed to this tri-camp area eventually. So perhaps this Cello Mellow guy is completely alone. We have this ward here. So Cello also knows Baboon is there, but there's also not much the AA can do to stop this. And now Razor, under tower, has TP. Will he use it? Has not used it. Will try to fight instead. Drew down everything before he died. Fissure is there. It's on 2 with the missile as well. And now Cello finally goes down to Shrek. But it will cost him his life. There's a full rotation there from the Radiant. They brought everybody but the Wraith King. And it is a 1-for-1 overall. But now Dire, they have middle lane. They want Sonic God. Sonic God is not holding a point for the Reincarnate. He put 2 points into the crits. So Coil is there, and if he dies, there is no Reincarnate. In comes the Fissure, in comes Aurora. Has Rocket Barrage, and the kill will head to Koryak if he can. Yeah, eventually he will go to Koryak. He will eventually run him. Actually, maybe not. The Radiant, they have arrived. Missile is on the way, but it's not going to be enough damage, I don't think. They will kill the missile, so Sonic God will be fine. And now the Earthshaker is isolated. Shards will actually push him further away, but Nika is still in the way, has Skewer if he wants to use it. Will miss the Skewer, in comes the Fissure. It's on to Fatal Uno. Will have a snowball in about 8 seconds. Okay, actually has it now thanks to that stick charge, but will not need it. Chalamello will get the kill with his Chilling Touch, so overall, a very lengthy attempt was put in to save the life of Sonic God. Some abilities were missed by the Dire, and as a result, Wraith King is fine. And instead, they will lose the Earthshaker, so that's a pretty disastrous situation for Funny Zone. They expected a free kill on the Wraith King with no Reincarnate, or at the very least, popping his Reincarnate. Instead, they got exactly nothing. Either way, though, Dire contents to farm. Smiley will be farming up this jungle still, has the Helm Denominator. Dire might go for an attempt on the bottom tower once again. It is relatively low HP. Siege Unit has arrived, but Radiant, they mirrored the movements. They had Sonic God's skeletons. They had their own Minute 10 Siege Unit, so now they find Smiley. Snowball is there. There goes the Cold Feet. There goes the Mars Ulti. Spear is there. And with the Ice Blast, they will find Smiley. But in comes Koryak, who had a 3-man coil, but not too much effect. Simply keeping 3 men there for a little bit. And that Polar Ass are starting to get a significant lead in this game. They are up 2k, and with this middle tower, they will be up a tower as well if they can secure it. Sonic God still has no ultimate, so he might just end up dying here, but yeah, Missile's on the way. Radiant will try to kill it, perhaps, though they will not. Fissure is there on Nika, he will skewer. Spear comes in, but in comes the Shaker trying to fight. He will just get blown up here. But it will be a trade for Fatal Uno, so this is a 1-for-1 overall. Wraith King Stun is there on Aurora. Aurora taking a lot of damage, but it will end up being a 1-for-1, but an overall good one for Dire. They did save their tier 1 tower, and they might look for more. Orb was used. In comes the Shockwave. There goes the RP, but the Spear actually brings him away from Nika. In comes Ice Blast. Shrek actually dodges it thanks to the God's Rebuke, I believe. The Chilling Touch will finally secure the kill there, but ends up being a 2-for-2 overall in that fight, with Nika dying in the melee there. So overall, not bad for Dire. They force out the RP, they kill Nika. They only lose 2, and they save their middle tier 1 tower, so strategically, all's pretty good there for the Funny Zone. Looking at key items, Whole City is working on that Blink Dagger. Is 600 gold away. Speaking of key Blink Daggers, Baboon 1,000 away from his on the Earthshaker. We're seeing Puck, as predicted earlier, is headed for the Witchblade rather than the early Blink, so we'll see a little bit delay before Puck has a Blink. If Puck goes for a Blink this game, might just be Witchblade into Ags this game, perhaps. You never know. Sonic God obviously still working on the Radiance. Did go back though to finish the Midas. Did not have the Midas in his quick buy. Ended up going back for it. Says, you know what? It's never one of those Dota games. We're going the distance. Might as well get the Midas. Get the experience. Bottom lane, Snowball is there. In comes the Ice Blast. In comes the Cold Feet. He will stun up Shrek, but it won't even be needed to stun up Shrek, actually. The kill will go to Fatal Uno before that. Meanwhile, top lane, they're looking for Whole City. Mars Arena is there. Whole City trying to walk away, but he is stunned. He is slowed by the call down as well afterwards. In comes the Echo from Baboon. Koryak has rotated over, and it will there be a kill there onto Whole City. The kill will go to Koryak. So it is a 1-for-1 across the map. Both offlaners dying. Both offlaners dying in very similar spots, aggressively pushing in their own offlane, trying to maximize the farm on the map, and we're caught out by the supports of both teams. So we're seeing very eerie mirror movements right now. And now Aurora attempted the ward here, but it was spotted out by Sonic God. There will be a D ward at some point once either of these Radiant supports can get over there to D-ward it. Dire, though, might look for the top tier 1 tower, but they're not fully committing to it. Yeah, with the Mars TPing in, showing on the wave there, they'll simply back away. Not even attempt to take the tower just yet, but they might go for some kind of play here with the smoke. But it'll probably just be an attempt for the runes instead. The Koryak will grab the bounty rune and will jaunt away with that orb, so they'll be content grabbing 2 bounty runes. Will be a 2 bounty for 2 bounty trade overall, so nothing too crazy there. They do see Nika middle lane. Does not have the blink. Coil is there from Koryak. In comes Shrek. Link is there as well. There is an Aurora stun with that homing missile, and it will be enough to get the kill. However, bottom lane, there was a 2-man kill on Smiley. Simply Fatal Uno and Chubba were enough to get the kill on the Io in the bottom lane. A little bit surprising there. Either way, Mars Marine is there, middle. In comes Puck, is jaunting in Snowball, looking for the gyro. Will stun him up there. In comes the Walrus Punch, perhaps. Actually, it's still on cooldown, but it will still be a kill on the gyro. Home Missile is there on Tusk. Can they get a counter kill? They're trying to hit. He's being linked by Shrek. Spear is in, though. Will push Shrek away, and it will likely be the end of the fight, with 2 Dire heroes being dead. And Radiance not really having the means to pursue just yet. Overall, though, if you're Radiant, you have to be relatively happy with what is happening here. You killed Smiley there with your supports. His game is being somewhat limited by these deaths, but unfortunately for the Radiant, Io is still a very fast arming hero. Will be Aghanim's very soon, if that is his item here. If he goes for it, we'll be having just 200 gold, not even now. Radiant are headed bottom, might look for one more kill on the Io. Do they see him? They have an idea he's there. In comes the Snowball, there comes the Ice Blast, and they will once again try to kill Smiley. In comes the, with the Nika rotation, it's certainly enough. Smiley, once again dead. 2 tips come out for Smiley, so they're saying, ha, you died in the exact same spot as last time, we're going to laugh at you. But in comes Koryak, has double damage rune, has the coil, has the Witchblade as well, so Chubba is very low with the orb. It will be killing the AA. There also is a coil on Whole City. He bulwarks. In comes Nika, has the 2-man RP. But in comes the Echo, the Blink Echo on 2. Down goes Whole City. Nika dropping low. He skewers on 2, but he's going to go down. It's a 3-for-1 exchange. Fatal Uno, he's on the run now. He has that Blink Dagger, but there's nothing he can do. This tower is forfeit. The siege unit is there. If they really want to, they can even relocate in Smiley to make sure this tower dies. Dire even glyphing, but it will not save their wave, nor their siege units. One good thing, though, for Polar Ass, they are still farming on Sonigod. They are obviously working on this Radiance still. He is quite close to the Relic, but Dire, yeah, they're once again going for this tower. Puck has the Blink. In comes Fatal Moon. Actually, the Walrus Punch with the Blink on the Shrek. That's a very ambitious play. Ice Blast was late. And even if the Ice Blast was there, it would not have been a kill on the Shrek, I don't believe. Either way, though, Fatal Uno went for the big play. Resulted in him dying, and now this tower, it is being sieged. Radiant, they do have Nika rotating over with the Blink, but he does not have an RP, and he is the lone defender. He will Shockwave, but needs to be a little bit careful. Not get Blink stunned there by Baboon, who is waiting on this high ground at a good angle to possibly go after the Magnus. Echo is on cooldown, but has the 2 stuns via the Aftershock Totem, and of course with the Fissure. And they have the Blink Coil from Koryak as well, so if Nika shows here, might be his death. But Radiant, they understand this, they are rotating over. Fatal Uno has TP'd. Both Whole City and Chubba are simply walking through the jungle, and they might just walk into Baboon here. Baboon, very deep Fissure, actually will miss good Blink away from Nika. Link is there on Fatal Uno, Mars ulti is there on Baboon. Shrek dropping low, Baboon dropping low. They'll both, Shrek's still alive, Fatal Uno will die. It's a 1-for-1 overall. Coil is there, onto the 2, the Mars and the Magnus, but they both will be fine. Tower, now dead, Dire on the retreat. Skewer actually will miss from Nika. And it will simply be a support trade for support trade with that tower dying. Sonigod tried to get some damage on this top tier 2 tower. Did get a lot of damage, but not enough to actually kill the tower, so overall good trade there for the Funny Zone. They grab this tier 2, now can get a pretty commanding control over this jungle area. They have this aggressive ward here. Both of this tower here is dead. This tower tier 1 obviously dead. This middle tier 1 is under siege in terms of its health. So if they can finish that tower, this Radiant jungle is a very dangerous area on the map for the Radiants. And now, they are drawing the arrows. They have smoked on 3. They want to head over, find possibly someone at the tri-camp, someone near the middle lane, and get that middle tier 1 tower. Bounty runes have spawned. Will be double damage to whole city as well on that Mars. Looking at Dire Vision, they actually don't know exactly where anybody is, but they have a relative idea that Shiro's in this jungle. Shaker is forward. They're not picking them out. Is there a 2-man echo here? Is there a 3-man echo? There's a 2-man echo. The Fissure is on 3. In comes Smiley on the relocation. There's currently 2 dead. Looking for a whole city. Will be a 3rd kill. Can they get more? Coil is there on Sonigod. Nika simply appears to be letting him die. Coil is broken. Reincarnate is there, but nothing will save Sonigod. Perhaps he can get the Midas off on something. And not only will he not get the Midas off, he will also lose his Courier, so... Luckily for him, he got the Radiance from the Courier before the Courier died, but overall, disastrous trade for Polar Ass. They lose 4, and on top of losing 4, they lose the Courier, which is of course the most important death of the team fights. And they lose his tier 1 tower middle as well. Ice Blast was there from Cello did hit on, I believe, just Koryak, but obviously not enough to save the tower. And as mentioned earlier, this entire area in the jungle now becomes more dangerous. And with this tower being dead as well, they can now start heading into this Tri-Camp at more angles, more safely, knowing there's no TP location for this Radiant to come to. And Dire, they had their ward dewarded earlier near the Tri-Camp. They actually have is that 4 observers? No, it's 4 sentries for Aurora, but regardless, they will make sure to get vision in this area. They want to limit the ability for Radiant, especially Sonigod and that Wraith King, to happily farm the Tri-Camp. They actually blocked this camp with the Observer, so good D-ward. Actually, never mind, it immediately D-warded, so not a very good ward actually. I thought it was a good ward, but instead it's simply a good D-ward. Did not block a single jungle camp as it was immediately D-warded within the first 30 seconds. Either way, the Funny Zone are at the lead. Their IO is relatively online with the Aghanims and the Helm of the Dominator. Has 3.8k gold to go for his next item. Probably will end up being a BKB. It is obviously still in a quick buy. Looking over at the Puck with the Blink in the Witch's Blade. He is coming quite close to that Aghanim Scepter as well, which will be very, very good this game. Going to possibly ruin the BKBs of these Radiant cores. 2 of them currently have the BKBs in quick buy. This whole city have one. Yeah, all 3 Radiant cores have BKB in quick buy. They all want the BKB, but its impact will be lessened with this Aghanim's Coil, obviously from Koryak. Looking over Radiant items, the Radiance is finished on Wraith King. Nika on the Magnus going for BKB. Whole city going for, obviously as mentioned earlier, the BKB after his Blink Yules on Mars. Looking over at who have I not looked at item-wise? Okay, Shrek. You've not looked at Shrek. He actually did opt for the Yules rather than the SNY. Mentioned that both are a possibility. Thought it'd be the SNY, ended up being the Yules. We'll go for the BKB afterwards. So a lot of BKBs coming out this game. Will be 5 relatively soon. Smiley's obviously being the first, but wouldn't be surprised if there's 4 more in the next 10 or so minutes at most. It's another smoke. It's a smoke on 4. Everybody but the IO, who obviously can relocate into the fights. They're headed up through this river area. Looking at Radiant Vision. They have very little vision. They might not really know what's going on here. Now, they do find Cello Mellow, but it's obviously not the most important kill. It is only the Ancient Apparition. Yeah, the Ice Blast actually got off onto Aurora before he died, but if you're Dire, you probably wanted more than a kill there on Ancient Apparition. But say, you know what? We killed AA. Maybe we can get this top tower. We can get some more vision, get some more control over this Tri-Camp, disrupt Sonigod's game. And actually do get a ward here, but it is easily dewardable if Radiant get any kind of vision there on the high grounds. Whether that will happen is yet to be seen. Either way though, Dire is pinging out that top tier 1. They still want it, but they also might look for a kill middle lane. In comes the Blink, in comes the Coil onto the arena, will be the counterplay. In comes the Ice Blast, will hit on nobody, I believe, actually. The relocation is there, Whole City dropping low, Whole City goes down. RP, getting pump fake, skew away from Nika, meanwhile, another to fight. Fighting Baboon, back to the other in the fight again. We're seeing the Wraith King. He's fighting, he's reincarnate, but he's still trying to fight Aurora. Cold Feet does pop, down goes Nika, they're into the fights. Fissure is there, and Sonigod The Reincarnate is over. Koryak will once again kill Cello Mello. Sonic God goes down. It's only Fatal Uno left. It is a 4-for-1 overall. Once again, disastrous fights. For Polar S. On top of losing the 4 heroes there, and the Reincarnate, and the RP cooldown, they're probably going to lose some buildings, or possibly a Roshan. Alright, they will opt for the Roshan instead, knowing that the big Roshan abilities are on cooldown. They say this is our best opportunity to kill it, and they will go for it. It will be without the support Gyro, but with a finished Deso on Koryak, it apparently will not be required. And Koryak is going for a very right-click heavy build here. Says, you know what, I don't want the Ags, yes. I will go Deso, I will go Scotty, have the Phase... Wait, what? He does not have the Phase Shift attacks talent, apparently. Actually, he's taking a lot of damage from the Roshan, actually. So Koryak dropping low, and actually are going to retreat from the Roshan pits. So the Roshan might just fully go over to the Radiant if they can commit to it. Echo Slam is up, but they need to heal, and they need to heal fast. Radiants? They're still around the Roshan pit. Nika possibly thinking of a jump. Dire sitting on their own high grounds, being wary of that Radiant jump. Yeah, they are now spotting it with the Vortex. Dire are aware of the Vortex being there, so both teams are aware of the status of Roshan, that both teams are not in the Roshan pit. In Dire, they will smoke. Koryak not included in the smoke. And Shrek actually showing at the Tri-Camps, so perhaps a misdirection there, but instead his team will head back into the Roshan pit. Radiant playing scared there of a possible smoke gank. And the smoke gank instead turned into a smoke into Roshan play. Ice Blast is there to scout, but not before Koryak gets the Aegis, so good play there by the Dire, simply outmaneuvering the Radiant route along the Roshan pits. And now we're seeing Whole City playing in a bit of an odd spot, but he'll blink away from any kind of danger. However, though, Nika might not be a good spot. He is spotted out by the Dire. They are aware of the Observer Ward, but Nika will skewer it to the left, and the main catch heroes are not in range of Nika. Speaking of the catch heroes, Puck has that Aegis for the next 4 minutes, more than that. So this could be a good attempt for Dire to get a lot of structures, perhaps some tier 2s, perhaps even a high ground ship. Radiant, though, will not let it go so easily. They have good D-push, they have the Mars Spear, they have the Shockwave from the Magnus, they have Ice Blast. Speaking of, also almost died top lane solo to Smiley, but he had TP away in the AA in time. Did not use the Glimmer Cape, apparently did not need to use Glimmer Cape. By the way, Coil is there on Whole City. In comes Fatal Uno trying to help save. Mars ulti is there onto Ice Blast, will hit on Koryak, but he will jaunt away. Actually, after the high grounds. Now Radiant are on this run completely. Fatal Uno will get stunned, Shadow Uno will go down, and Koryak will jaunt away, will not get caught, and meanwhile Fatal Uno will die for the rest of the Dire team, so an absolute disaster situation there. Once again for the Radiants. They once again lose 2. They once again do not pop the Aegis. And they might even go for more. Never mind, they will not go for more just yet. The Koryak opted for the illusory orb distance and speed. Not a talent you see very often on Puck, but this game, trying to be as maneuverable as possible with the blink and the orb. Speaking of, top lane, Smiley had the BKB, was going on by 3 heroes. However, the Fissure counter is there on the Sonic God, but Sonic God with the BKB and Spider Legs will simply walk away. However, there's a link there on the Whole City. Koryak is looking for a kill, has Coil in 8. Down goes Whole City. Nika has brought Shrek under the tower, but Shrek will simply walk away. Sonic God trying to fight, looking for Koryak, pops the Aegis, in comes Ice Blast, hits on 2. Reincarnate is popped, and Aurora goes down to the Blink Walrus Punch of Fatal Uno. This fight might not be great. RP is there on 2. In comes Echo. It's there on 2 as well. Down goes Koryak. Down goes Nika. Both mids are dead. Shrek under tower. Looking for Cello. Dust is there. Down goes AA. In comes Smiley trying to assist him. And Sonic God is the lone defender. Has a Reincarnate. Trying to kill Shrek. Shrek dropping low. Shrek being... Oh, Magnus, he bought back. He's trying. He's more hits. Yules is there from Shrek. Nika's trying. Needs more damage. Needs a Shockwave. There's another buyback from Sonic God. And they will kill Shrek. But it's a very, very costly hold. They can get 2 buybacks. And they still don't even kill Smiley. Whole City might look to change that. He blinks over. Is there a Yules? There's a Mars Arena. So they will look for this kill on Smiley. Fissure is there, but simply the tether away from Smiley. Makes it so hard in this Mars to get those kills there. And for Polar Ass, this is the exact point where you have to be concerned with the game state. You are falling behind a lot. We're seeing a hasted Wraith King here, but what will he do? He wanted to kill on Earthshaker, and he even pops to the Orb of Destruction there in the ground. That might even kill him. But with the Spider Legs, he'll be fine. That's a very unfortunate timing there for the Wraith King. Having the Orb of Destruction drop right there, had to double back for it, but he did not die for it. All was fine. Overall, though, for Polar Ass, this game is becoming difficult. But for them, they still have a very good team fight combination. They obviously have a lot there with the RP, the Mars Arena, the Ice Blast. But they appear to be losing these major team fights. We saw a lot of success early in the game finding pickoffs, but getting pickoffs is becoming more and more difficult as the game goes on. Even top lane, Hull City is once again caught out. Puck is there, Relocate is there, in comes Baboon, has the Fissure, has the stuns. Kill will have the Smiley. And the longer this game goes on, the harder it just feels for Polar Ass. Sonic God, he has the BKB, he's close to his Blink, but the rest of his team is simply not very farmed right now. Simply due to the flow of this game being very hard for heroes like Magnus or Mars to farm. We're seeing Mars, as he's trying to find farm, really, the only map he can farm is, well, not a very happy place to be, an area where he just ends up dying. We're seeing the same with Nika consistently through the game here. Big kill is Sonic God, they can find it, but there is no full committal from the Dire. Onto this Wraith King with BKB, obviously. And Dire's waves actually are not in a great spot. Radiant has a huge wave top lane. Smiley, though, will kill it, and he has the relocate in just 19 seconds. So he can join his team if there is a fight there. Wherever the four want to fight. He appears to be a full retreat, though. The question is, do Dire know Fatal Uno is here? I'm guessing the answer is no. He might simply wait until the coast is clear. Obviously he can't blink more. But instead, Dire will once again head for Hull City. Once again, was caught out in middle lane. He heals himself to delay the death, but it is inevitable. The kill will head to Shrek the Green Knight, and once again, Hull City being caught out trying to farm. However, though, Radiant are looking for a counter kill. Ice Blast on the way. There's a stun from Sonic God. There's a stun from the Wallace Punch of Fatal Uno, but finally did get the BKB off. He will tether away. He's under that Ice Blast. But they need more damage, and they will not have more damage. Meanwhile, in comes Koryak. Looked for Fatal Uno. Did not get the kill. Coil was on cooldown from the kill on Hull City earlier, so we're seeing Dire. Successful gank on Mars. Radiant. Unsuccessful gank on the IO. Did not chain their stuns properly, it appears. And now Dire are in the position where they can once again go for these outer towers. Aegis is down. They actually did not get any outer towers with other... They may have gotten the top tier 1 during that time, but regardless, they still want to finish these tier 2s. Gain more map control. But they will be content if they can find a kill on Sonic God, but they do not find it for now. Koryak actually did opt to go backwards for the Aghanim, so middle lane Walrus Punch is there on Shrek. In comes Nika. No RP used yet. BKB is used by Shrek. Fatal Uno might just be left to die. Sonic God, though, looking to fight is in the back line. Stun is there on Baboon. Mars ulti is there on Hull City. Hull City taking, sorry, on Shrek. Shrek taking a lot of damage, and in comes the relocate now. Shrek will end up dying eventually under this tower, but what can Dire get in exchange? And the answer appears to be very, very little. Smiley's relocate is ending. He will bring Aurora with him, and Baboon and Koryak will simply have to run away. Hull City's on the pursuit, but Hull City will not find anybody, it appears. Overall, though, if you are Polar Ass, you are very, very happy with that exchange. You killed Shrek, you only lost Fatal Uno, and you saved your tower. All is well there. And Sonic God wants more. Stun is there on Aurora. Aurora has Glimmer Caped himself, but he is still stunned. Will try to escape. Is there a stun in time? There's no stun in time. They actually did see him, but nothing was used in time. You on middle. Hull City once again being gone on by Koryak and Baboon. He's very low, but not dead just yet. Sonic God has arrived. Shockwave is there. Didn't miss. Ice Blast will hit on Koryak. Koryak up being very low. Nika. Lewis is skewer, but they were simply putting abilities on the Puck to ensure Puck could not blink away from the phase shift. And now, for Polaris, they are starting to do the right things across the map. They're taking the right engagements. They are coming out successful in the engagements. And they're getting some key kills. The question is, can they convert the key kills into more? They might see Smiley here. They definitely see Smiley now. The RP is there, but the blink is cancelled by the orbs from Wisp, so no kill on Smiley just yet. Sonagod, though, he's postured very aggressively into this jungle, looking for creeps. Might even be looking for Smiley, but did not find Smiley. Smiley taking a different path through the jungle. And now they see Chelomello. Chelomello's on the retreat. But in comes Sonagod, he stuns Smiley, Shrek is there, Mouse Earthly actually will be there. BKBs are being popped by 3. In comes the call down, Sonagod Reincarnate is popped. In comes Snowball is there on Earthshaker, they stun a Baboon. Once again, they want to kill the Idol, but they're struggling so far. Earthshaker is dead. Cold Feet is there on Smiley, but RP will miss! The blink was cancelled! It's a disaster! Down goes Cello. BKB is fighting probably the rest of the Radiants. They're trying to kill Smiley, they're desperate. He once again stuns with the Wraith King. They need to hit this man. They're hitting the Mag, they're hitting the Wraith King. The Wraith King will die. The Reincarnate is still on cooldown. And now Fatal Uno. He's isolated. He's stunned by the homing missile. He'll go down. And there's a Yules on Nika as well. Nika, he has the skewer in 3, but he might just end up dying. He's being slowed by the orbs, and that will be a triple kill for Smiley. Absolute disaster for Polaris. And now the high ground, it's under attack. Whole City's trying to push out something, do anything in this top lane, but he's now coiled by Koryak. Back to the buildings. They're being sieged. Whole City is still alive, did spear away Koryak, but he's now being chased still by the puck. Whole City will TP away successfully, it appears. But the problem is the building's not so successful. The full racks are dead. They're headed to tier 4. Sonic's buyback, not available. Negan's buyback, not available. Neither. For both of them, it's still on cooldown. And they're coming up soon, but they need to defend hard. The T-Force are dead. Mars Arena is there. It'll hit on 2, but BKB is popped by Smiley. Now they're chasing Fatal Uno. They're looking for this kill. They're on the... Oh yeah, it's over. They call the GG. The Tusk went down. And the Throne, it's dead. And Funny Zone, they picked a very timing window oriented draft, and they executed it very well. They let their IO get online, they let their puck get online, and they played. And at that point, they were simply too strong to die. And Polaris, I'm sure they have to be very mindful about what happened in the errant team fights that happens, in which abilities were missed, in which they were taking it with bad numerical situations. Because they were at the advantage of this game. They had the lead, but bleed eventually went away there as Funny Zone got the good ganks online, got their kill squad online, found the pickoffs that they needed. Overall, though, both teams were not perfect. Both teams can improve, but both teams have to be relatively content with how part of the game went. Polaris had a relatively fun time in the lanes. They hurt Sonagod's game early. Actually, but other than that, for Funny Zone, they didn't really do too much in the lanes. Whole City had a pretty good lane, top lane. Nika had a great lane, middle lane. And Sonagod was able to recover in the jungle, so if you're doing well in 2 lanes and you have a backup plan for the 3rd lane, then things are relatively okay there. And from that very early advantage, they got some very key kills there on Smiley. They got a lot of pickoffs early on. I believe 3 pickoffs early on the Wisp. So if they can continue to get some carry kills on an out position Smiley, that would be very ideal for Polaris for next game. Or they might simply consider a completely different draft. They went for 3 very tanky strength cores here, with the Wraith King, with the Magnus, with the Mars. Might go for a different type of hero, middle lane or off lane this game. We'll have to see exactly how they adjust in the draft. Either way, though, I need some more water. I will, Is that water? That's not water. Yeah, it can become water. It will be BRB water. I will leave you on this screen right here. I'll be back in about 2 minutes with some fresh water. And hopefully by then we'll be in the draft for game number 2. Oh. We are not in game 2 yet still. We're still waiting. We'll be seeing Polar Ass take a second pick for game number 2. So that'll be a nice little mix-up there, I believe. So, I can double-check that, actually. We can check to see who won game number... or who was what in game 1. Polar Ass were, they were first pick in game 1, so they will be second pick this game. So we'll probably see an entirely different draft off that principle alone, with Funny Zone this time having the first pick, and Polar Ass as a result having the overall last pick in the draft, so... might see something weird, but... either way. We are here for game 2. Oh, they did not mark the games properly. I'm very sad. But it's okay. We can, oh! What do we have here? We got this little thing here. We get to, Funny Zone. 1-0. Polar Ass. Make it a little bit smaller. Ah, there we go. This is professional. Professional OBS usage right here. This time, though, there will be no Io and there will be no Tusk. Both of them have been first base bans. Instead, we'll see a first pick overall Keeper of the Light. In response of a Nyx Assassin. So, certainly one of the more traditional counters to Keeper of the Light being picked right away. It will almost certainly end up being a 5-roll Coddle and a 4-roll Nyx, so... we already know we're going to be seeing those two heroes dueling in the laning phase. This is good rehydration right now. Good old water. It's good to stay hydrated when you're commentating. Either way, though, it is second pick we're waiting on for Funny Zone. If I had to guess, they're probably going to end up being an off-laner day show here, unless they want to show their force support. It's definitely too early in the draft to show your middle laner or your carry, unless you're really confident in one of these like high meta picks that were banned last game. For example, we saw Jug banned phase 2 in the ban phase last game. Perhaps if you want that Jug right here, right now, might be a pick done very early. Speaking of heroes, though, who were banned out, second phase last game, we're seeing Clockwork. It's a funny zone, they are adapting. They say, you know what? You want to ban this Clockwork? That Baboon plays well. In the second phase, we're going to pick it in the first phase. Now, Polaras, they do see both supports. They can complete the full support showing if they pick a 5 of their own. But instead, as I actually alluded to earlier, we are seeing the Jug pick. So Jug has been picked. It will be first phase this time for Polaras. So you know what? We are fine laning this Jug into a Clockwork +1. That is okay with us. And Jug does pretty well in the Clockwork, but there is one thing to note, is that Jug will have some more difficulties TPing away. There is no ability to simply spin TP if Clock is ready, so that is one thing to note. Is they will need to be very mindful of the potential of a Clock to ruin a spin into TP play. Either way, though, should be relatively fine for relatively fine game for the Jug. Polaras, they are once again banned. They were going to ban the Razor. They say, you know what, we did not enjoy the existence of Razor last game. We're going to ban it out. We're not interested in seeing it. Funny though, they will ban out the Grimstroke. They say, you know what, this Grimstroke Juggernaut combo in lane is pretty potent. If you want to combo well with the Jug in lane, maybe you have to go for some Lich-based hero instead, which is obviously not as high of a skill-ceiling hero as Grimstroke. A hero that, in this case, they appear to be less scared of than Grimstroke. Seeing Polaras, they are banning out Ursa. Funny Zone are banning out the Pangolier. Looking at the Game 1 drafts, neither of those heroes were actually banned out, but obviously this is a very different set of heroes. Polaras are looking to protect their Jug. Funny Zone simply looking to ban out heroes they find annoying that can potentially flex into these side lane roles that Polaras need. Banning out a 5, banning out a 3. Obviously Polaras still needs both. And then we'll ban out the Timbersaw. They did ban out Hull City's Timbersaw in Game 1. They will ban out Hull City's Timbersaw again in Game 2. Got one more ban left before we head into this second pick phase. Polaras might look to protect their Jug even further. They have already committed 2 bans to it. They might have committed a third, is right. And they will ban out a third. So once again, a pick that both protects the Jug and also is a very good ban into one of the better carries in the meta. This time, Polaras will have the puck. We saw Funny Zone pick it last game. Picked it relatively, I think they picked it 17 overall, so the 7th pick overall in the draft. Polaras, though, pick it overall at the 5th pick of the draft, so Puck's certainly a very hotly contested hero of this series. Unless, it might end up being the only hero that gets picked in both of these games, unless we see the return of, say, Wraith King or return of Mars. Both of them are still available. Both of them do make some sense for the Funny Zone, but I'm not sure what they'll do just yet. Smiley obviously has a degree of versatility in his hero repertoire, so might see something like a Slark potentially if the draft is looking good for it later. Right now, actually, never mind. I probably would not want to Slark this game. This would be a rough Slark game. They will instead, though, they will go full anime. They will pick up the Dragon Knights. They obviously can flex between the mid lane and the off lane, but probably will be a mid lane this game. Simply a hero who Puck can't really bully out of the lane. With the Dragon's Blood passive, it's simply a bit too hard for Puck to force that hero out. So I say, you know what, we're going to abandon the idea of winning middle lane with a hero like, say, Void Spirit, and we're going to be content with drawing the lane with Dragon Knight. Because Dragon Knight is basically the sort of hero you stick in there, and the lane is auto-drawn, and they appear to be condemned. I say, you know what, we're not going to let Nika style on you with Puck. We're just going to draw the lane, pick DK, all is well. Polar they don't take too much time to pick up their offlaner. They say, you know what, we have the Sand King next lane. We want to have as many legs as possible. As many legs as possible in this lane, you know. Nyx, obviously, high leg hero, I believe 6 legs. Sand King, 6 legs as well, so. Cuddle has 6 legs technically, but he doesn't really use 2 of the legs. Where's the Alchemist? We're just seeing 12 legs versus 10 legs in the lane. Either way, though, we have our bottom lane figured out. It will almost certainly end up being the Alchemist plus the Coddle into the Sand King plus the Nyx. Might be a relatively rough lane for the Alchemist, but Alchemist doesn't really care. He is Alchemist. We are now at the last ban phase. Bans have come out relatively quickly this time. Monkey King, OD, Kunkka banned right away. Polar. See, they might even think the DK is an offlaner here. They banned out the Kunkka, who is traditionally played in the middle lane, so perhaps they're wary of the flex DK to 3. So we're banning out Kunkka. Obviously, Tidebringer can be dodged in the lane, but if you catch Puck with the Tidebringer, it's not a fun time for Puck. Puck not really a hero known for having high HP or armor, so Tidebringer certainly a potent tool there. But after this last ban, we'll be heading into the penultimate pick, the pick for the Funny Zone. Probably their offlaner pick, but could be their mid laner pick, depending on where they put the DK and also where they put the Alchemist. They could go like a DK offlane, Alchemist mid lane, and then opt for a different safe laner depending on how they're feeling it. Yeah, Polaras really think that this DK is offlane, it appears. They ban out 2 different middle laners, both of them who do well into the Puck. So Polaras, they're protecting this Nika Puck pick no matter what. You know, this is relatively rare. It's very rare you see a 24 pick 5. We're going to see a 5 hero picked 24 hero. Last pick overall will be a 5 support for Shallow. Unless one of these heroes that have already been picked will end up being a 5. And they can pick to potentially just combo with the Juggernaut lane, possibly find kills on the Night Stalker plus Clockwork. Lich is still available if they want to combo with the Spin. Obviously, Grimstroke's still banned. They could go for a more disable heavy support like Shadow Shaman if that's how they're feeling it. Either way, we have less than a minute until this last pick, so we'll have our answer very, very soon for what is Chelamello going to be playing. Almost certainly going to be this last hero, though. If he's feeling like some kind of absolute madman, he could go 5 Puck. But Puck should be relatively fine here in the mid lane. No need to like go off the mid lane Puck just to avoid that bad lane matchup, for example. A lot of head bonks in the chat from, I'm assuming, Funny Zone. Yep, it is indeed from Funny Zone. And Polteras will opt for a Phoenix. Interesting. So, if Phoenix uses Supernova first, and then Night Stalker uses the Dark Ascension second, will it go to nighttime? That's the question of the day. I'm not actually entirely sure what the interaction is if Phoenix uses Supernova first, and then Night Stalker uses the Alti second. Supernova creates day, and Night Stalker creates night. I'm not sure if the Supernova overrides the Dark Ascension darkness, if it's used afterwards. I know if Dark Ascension is used first, then it's daytime. We might have an answer in this game depending on what happens in these team fights. Either way, though, if you are just joining us, it is now Game 2 of this best of 3 between Funny Zone and Polteras. It is win or go home. This is the losers bracket 8ths, I guess it would be on a technical level. Loser will go out tied for 7th and 8th place with 5 average dudes. Winner will go on to play the loser of Dark W versus Nebula. Dark W Nebula will actually be tomorrow night, casted by the one and only Killer Karate. Also tomorrow night, though, will be Toxic Tacos versus Step Bro I'm Stuck, casted by yours truly, so if you love some lads action, we'll have some more tomorrow. We have 2 options, so if you're sick of seeing me commentate, you can watch someone else commentate. Or if you like me commentating, you can watch some more of me commentating. Regardless, it is game 2 time. We are in. I'm actually very curious as to how this this lane top ends up going, because Night Stalker Clock, not traditionally great laners at level 1, but they're laning to Phoenix, which is not the greatest combo with the spin. So perhaps they'll simply be content with whole city is making a joke off of his Dota Plus lines, apparently. But regardless, we're seeing Dire. They are sitting 3 at the Tri-Camp. Radiant, they have 2 by the T1 tower near Sonic God. Cormac simply playing. Actually, all the players on Funny Zone are playing relatively conservatively, other than the ones in the top lane. They say, you know what, it's unlikely that they have these heroes in their jungle. We'll play over here. We'll scout things out, be secured in our 2 runes, allow Korek to grab his block bottom lane. And knowing, hey, we've seen no heroes in this area, that'd be going for aggressive play over here. So we can play in the trees on Smiley and on Aurora and not be caught out. So obviously we'll end up being 2 bounty runes apiece. Both mid laners grab their rune. Will be relatively late to the block, so this should be a relatively even block situation. So we have our answer. Phoenix Egg overrides it. So if you use Dark Ascension after Supernova, Supernova still makes it day. So Night Stalker might be relatively hurt by that, actually. Because other than the Night Stalker, DK is not the greatest hero hitting the egg. Alchemist can hit it. So it's going to be this avoid Alchemist in the fights if you're Cello Mellow. By the way, though, top lane, we're seeing Spirits and Battery Assault already being thrown out. Both teams exchanging damage. Shrek is not going to have a fun time. Not a hero with the greatest animation during the day. And if you're constantly under these Fire Spirits, it's going to be very hard for Shrek the Green Knight to grab any last hits. But I'm sure he'll get, he'll get some here and there. Fatal Luna, though, trading very well with Aurora. Aurora is very low. There will be no kill for now, but Aurora already might have to salve. She will miss the Illuminate as well, so back to top lane. Spin is there on Shrek. Shrek dropping low, but it is only level 1 spin from Sonic God, so it will be no kill for now. Spirits are still on cooldown, but even if they were there, it would not have been a kill, I don't believe. Onto Shrek. Middle lane, as expected, will be a relative draw. If anything, Puck might be at a very, very slight advantage, but once again, there's not much you can really do to either win or lose a lane on DK. So especially not in a matchup like DK Puck. Maybe if you're into like Razor, but DK Puck is a very nobody dies matchup, because Puck can't really die to DK stuff, and Puck doesn't do enough damage to kill DK, so I would expect it to be a very even lane between Korrak and Nika this game, or even the last game. Bottom lane, stun is there from the Nyx. In comes the Illuminate. I don't believe the Carapace was not in time there from Fatal Luna, I believe. It was just a little bit late. So it did not reflect the damage from the Illuminates. Sonic God, still farming. Still obviously out farming this Night Stalker, but not by that much. Night Stalker is 8-2, so even though he's the last place in terms of core last hits, he's not that far behind. Chelbo actually is holding a skill point, as I've noticed. Has not skilled Dive yet. I'd be surprised if he went for Sunray, but maybe if he's thinking, I want some kind of kill attempts, might be the play. The Osteo Dive does still do damage offensively. Cogs are used top lane, bringing back Sonagod, making his lane slightly sadder. In bottom lane, we are seeing an attempt on Smiley. In comes the Illuminate, actually down goes Whole City. So it will be a one. Actually, Smiley with the Fairy Fire survives. It's a double kill for the Alchemist, and this is an absolute disaster for Polar Ass in the bottom lane. We saw it. Game 1, their lane started relatively well. This game, well, the Night Stalker isn't losing the lane that badly. The DK is drawing the lane eventually even ahead in CS now. And your Alchemist having a great time. Polar Ass needs to get it together sooner. They might be out of Lads Season 6. Speaking of, we saw last game, we're seeing some more rune scouting. Baboon is rotated for this top rune. Might run into Nika, and Baboon will grab the haste rune, leaving Battery Assault onto Nika, forcing out that Waning Rift onto the high ground to avoid damage. But he actually is stunned by Dragon Tail. Cogs are there. We'll put Nika inside them. Interesting. Either way, though, top lane instead, they will go for Shrek. Actually does use the Sunray, so looking for a little bit of extra damage to kill Shrek. Need a little bit more, and they will get it thanks to the Sunray of Shalomel. So we're seeing the skilling of Sunray pay off immediately. Turns out, what do I know about Phoenix? Not very much. Looking over at Smiley, we're seeing the items that we'd all expect. We're seeing the early phase into Bee Fury. So Alchemist will be farmed very, very soon at the rate he's going. Is at 21-3, so he's not doing that great in terms of last hits, but he has those 2 kills, so he should be relatively fine. We're seeing trades at the runes. Nyx has stunned Coddle. In comes the Burrow. It is a level 2, actually, sorry, only level 1 Burrow, but Aurora will TP away knowing that, hey, they've used their 2 stuns. Even TP to the tower to ensure Smiley is not bullied out of lane while the Coddle's healing. Top lane, though, it is nighttime. It is good time to be Shrek the Green Knight. He can finally move fast with the level 2 passive. Possibly go for a kill attempt on Jug or on Phoenix. Especially Phoenix without the dive. We're seeing Sonagod is at the small camp. He is maximizing his own farm. Has finished those phase boots. Are now in the courier. We're seeing Whole City. Still playing it very aggressively bottom, despite not having Fatal Uno, who is in the jungle. Possibly scouting for stacks to kill. Or I should say contest killing of. He is now trading with Aurora, but Aurora has too much move speed to really be hit that much. Aurora is slower, but not by that much, so it's not being run down by Coddle incessantly. Warp actually was used middle lane from Nika, but there will be no kill attempt there onto the puck just yet. You know, we're seeing Chelomel take a good bit of damage top lane from Night Stalker, but Night Stalker's teams be content with the creeps. Top lane though, Baboon looked for a courier kill onto Sonagod's courier. Battery Assault is there on Shello. In comes Shrek. He's ignoring Sonagod. Got the Void there on Shello, but it's not enough damage. Sonagod's courier actually will finally go down there to Shrek, so bit of a mismarker there, and the courier from Sonagod results in that little buddy dying, but the items did get there. Phase boots have arrived. He will have to wait though on the clarity for 2 more minutes or so, combining both the respawn time and the transit time of the courier, so unfortunate for the Jug, but not too bad. Aurora and Fatal Uno are once again fighting, but nobody will win that fight. Meanwhile, top lane, Baboon, look for the Battery Assault. Cogs playing the Sonagod with the Sunray. Will be enough to keep Sonagod alive. Nobody is dead just yet. Meanwhile, bottom lane, never mind, nobody's dying here. Sandstorm was used, but nobody is dying. Everybody is A-okay. Smiley is actually, okay, so he's opting for components of the Battle Fury over components of the Phase. I believe he has 2 of them on the courier. Right, he only has 1 of them on the courier. He has 1 in the inventory, so he already has 2 components of the Battle Fury. Off to a relatively good start on the Alchemist. We'll have the Bee Fury relatively soon. Seeing some warding going on, possibly warding around this DK. He has already finished a Falcon Blade, so he has a decent bit of damage there. But the Elder Dragon form obviously is ending pretty soon, so probably won't be a significant push on the middle T1 beyond what has already been done. Might get a few more hits there to apply the poison, but the tower will not go down, at least until the next DK ulti. But that's a very good regen for Koryak, simply filling up that mana. Either way, though, both teams relatively content to farm. Seeing Baboon trying to disrupt Sonigod, but Sonigod simply not the easiest kill. Meanwhile, top lane Shrek has used Dark Ascension, is looking for Cello, but he lacks what he needs to kill it. The Void was on cooldown, so there was no way of canceling that TP. And now Fatal Uno is there. Fatal Uno not the easiest kill, has the Carapace, has the stun, but there are 3 Funny Zone heroes that are there. Looking for Fatal Uno. They have Whole City on the rotation. Nyx has gone down. Is there a counter? There is absolutely zero counterplay. Not even a burrow being thrown out. It's simply accepting the death of Fatal Uno. However, there actually is Dust in a Sentry top lane thanks to rotation from Aurora, so Whole City is not that safe in the Sandstorm. However, the big winner of all this, though, is Smiley. The 2 heroes that were disrupting him in this lane are no longer in this lane. He is free to finish farming the Bee Fury. He is quite literally about to finish it. It's less than 200 gold away. He has finished the Broadsword. He has finished the Bee Fury. He's bringing out the Clarities even. This game for Smiley is off to a very good start. Middle lane, Dusty will get the tier 1 tower. The Elder Dragon form is once again used. This time we'll finish up the remainder of that tier 1 middle tower, so it's not a great situation so far for Polar S. They're allowing this Alchemist to farm very heavily, and they've lost their middle tier 1 tower to DK, so both DK and Alk have accomplished what they want to accomplish. DK wants to hit the mid tier 1 tower, he's done it successfully. Alk wants to farm, has to be for even at 10. Question is, can Polar S, now at this stage of the game, start to put things together, start to get some key kills, get some key towers perhaps? They have a lot of heroes in this top area. They have 4 heroes. Everybody but Sonigod is in this top area. But the problem is, Funny Zone have rotated 3 heroes here as well. Koryak is there, as are Aurora and Shrek. They're doing a lot of damage to Whole City. The Illuminate is there, but it's not enough damage. They have the Rocket Flare from Baboon, but that's not enough damage to finish that kill. And Clockwork actually has his 6 now, so you might even see a kill attempt from Funny Zone top lane. Or even seeing a solo smoke from the Clock. Really wants to utilize this 6 he has now acquired. Look for a key kill here. Find the right angle with hook shot. Looking at Radiant Vision, they don't see too much. They do see Nika and they do see Sonigod. If they go for Phoenix, it's not the easiest kill in the world. Dark Ascension is there. Is there silence? It'll be on all 3 for now. Cello has the Sun Ray, tries to get away. Whole City goes down. Supernova is popping. Supernova will die here. And now they're looking for Fatal Uno. They're chasing him down, and there's no escape. It's 3 kills for Funny Zone, and they're in a great position so far in this game. They're up by 3k. They're up by 1 tower. They're looking to make a 2-tower lead. And Sonigod, he runs into a solo Smiley, but even though it's only the Dire Creeps there, he does not go up the Omni Slash. Says, you know what, I don't have the damage just yet to get that Omni Slash kill. So Smiley will be able to farm further. Radiant will finish the tower top lane, but meanwhile middle lane, Dream Coil is there. Puck dodges Dragon Tail. Coil actually is broken. In comes the Burrow, in comes the Epi, down goes Koryak. Question is there more? And then the answer appears to be no. But Dire have to be relatively happy getting a good kill there on Koryak. DK is certainly a hero who wants to have his momentum shattered. And by dying there, it shatters a little bit. And they want to parlay that into more. They really want this kill on somebody. They smoked on 4 to join Sonigod bottom. Problem is they pop it on Aurora, who is not the best kill. Now they see Baboon. Carapace is popped on Nyx. Stun is there as well, so Clockwork probably going to go down here unless he can hook away miraculously. And he will not be able to hook away. So Polar S, they do get 2 kills. They will bring it into this tier 1 tower bottom kill. But Funny Zone are fine with this. They're going to push out these side lanes. Middle. They're going to push out the lane top and the lane middle. They're going to be relatively fine with farming up their Alchemist further, who does have both the Yasha and the Bee Fury on top of Phase Boots. Smiley very, very farmed right now. Looking at Sonic God, he does have a finished Maelstrom now, so it is a both a farm accelerant and a tool possibly getting a kill in the Omni Slash. But for basically the rest of this game, he will be significantly behind Smiley. I suppose that is simply the nature of the hero. With with Alchemist, you're going to outfarm the enemy carry a lot of the time. Speaking of items, though, Koryak has finished the Blink Dagger, so he's working on a. He's now sitting on a Blink and a Falcon Blade. He is online. But they would look for him anyways. Nyx is there, has the break, will apply the stun. In comes stun from Sand King as the Koryak will go down. The Blink has been revealed, but the Blink has been revealed on top of a corpse. Aurora is there at the Illuminate to try to defend, but the Healing Ward will counter out that damage. And Polaras will simply look to finish this middle tier 1 tower. It is working at about 1/5 HP. Illuminate once again there from the high ground will use some damage. But the tower still very low and it is now deceased. So Polaras, they heard me asking questions, what are you going to do to turn this game around? They're getting key kills and they're getting key towers. They've now gotten multiple tier 1 towers actually. One middle and one bottom. They can start working into this dire jungle, perhaps limiting Smiley's ability to get some farm over here. But so far Smiley is very content. They do see him with this ward, but he is still farming the Tri-Camp. Has finished the SNY, so he's very, very farmed right now. 11k net worth versus the next closest is the Puck at 6k, so it's a lot of farm there. Radiant do smoke. Dire, I believe if they were watching it, they would have seen it, but I don't think it's on it in the minimap. They will instead go on to Nika. Nika was stunned and silenced by many sources and really had no hope of escape on that one. And Funny Zone, they want more. They do see Sonic God. They do actually force out the spin there from Sonic God. But they need more than simply Shrek there. What is backup? The backup is not close enough. However, Whole City is there. Does not have the blink yet, but does have the Spirit Wrestle. Dragontail is there on Whole City to silence from Shrek as well. They need to finish this Sand King. And in comes Smiley, has a concoction, will hit on 2. They need to finish the Whole City. But he is being healed by the Healing Ward and the Sunray, but he actually will. Yeah, Whole City's still alive. And now Shrek is dead. So it's a full-on retreat from Funny Zone. They overstayed their welcome top lane. They wanted some kills. They got none other than the one earlier on, Nika. And ended up losing Shrek under that tower. And Polaras now want more. They are spotting out Smiley. It is a huge kill if they can get it. There is a coil there from Nika. He has the Witch's Blade as well. Stun is there. In comes Sonic God. Has the Omni Slash. Chemical Rage is there from Smiley, but it's not enough to stay alive. Omni Slash damage secures the kill there. Well, the kill will go to Nika rather than Sonic God. Now for Polaras, they've done a pretty good job of starting to ruin the momentum there the Funny Zone had. They killed the Alchemist, which is the most important thing they can do, and they killed Shrek as well during the night, so that's pretty good for their game states. But Funny Zone said, you know, we're going to stick with our game plan. We're going to play pretty heavily grouped as for farm up on Smiley. We're seeing these 4 heroes once again converge, head into the Dire Tri-Camp. Looking at their vision, they don't see anybody just yet, but they will now spot out Sonic God. They should see Chelamello here soon as well. There's instead a Dragon's Tail onto Sonic God, silence as well from Shrek. There's a Sunray from Chelamello trying to save, but it was cancelled by Baboon. Chelamello probably will go down as well, with the recalled Smiley now being in the fight. Shrek's still in the backlines looking for more, but this kill on Nika is not the easiest in the world. The orb is there, he will phase shift, he will jaunt, will disjoint the Dragon Tail with that jaunt. So Nika not being a third in a string of deaths there for his team, but still, the first 2 deaths, especially the one on Sonic God, a bit of a disaster there for Polaras. Smiley is hitting the tower, C2 will go down. We still have a little bit of time left on that Dragon Swarm. They might look to go for this bottom tier 1 as well. Hook in from Baboon, but there's TPs coming in from the Dire. Sonic God and Cello, they have arrived. Both cities got them low. Baboon goes down. Both are now dead. Coil is there on Shrek. They need this kill. He wants up. He's being hit by Nika. Meanwhile, they want more. Shrek is now dead. Sonigod wants Aurora, but the stun is slightly too late from Fatal Uno. So it's overall a 2 for 1. Whole City traded his life for both Shrek and Baboon. Now, Radiance will once again return to farming. They're a big fan of cultivating this sort of agricultural lifestyle they've been doing. Obviously still heavily farming up on Baboon, or sorry, on Smiley. They're pushing up this lane on Aurora. And Dire took whatever space they were able to get to try to get some kind of items here. They have finished a they finished a magic wand on Sonic. They're trying to finish an Aghanims on him. Just looking for every little bit of damage they can get in the team fights to eliminate the Alchemist as soon as possible. Nika has Witch's Blade. I believe has Blink in the Courier. Has Blink on the Courier. Look at a Whole City. He has the Blink in the Vessel. So those heroes are starting to get online. They once again spot Smiley at the Ancients. Epi is there. Stunned from Fatal Uno. In comes the Burrow. Smiley. He goes down immediately before he can get the BKB off. Before the BKB even arrives. But Radiant, while counter kills, Clock has Hook. Will hook in onto Whole City. Fatal Uno dropping low as well. Both of them low HP, both on the run. Whole City is dead. Can't get Fatal Uno. The TP is cancelled from the Void, from Shrek the Green Knights. And it is 2 counter kills from Funny Zone. But Polar S, they were on a mission to kill Smiley on the Alchemist. They killed Smiley on the Alchemist. He is not farming. Meanwhile, Sonigod, he is farming. However, Nika's in a very odd spot. Might be a hard escape here. Will phase shift. Will be the high ground. Correct does have the blink, but Nika also has the blink. Can they cancel it in time? The answer is barely not. He got the Dragon Tail off before Puck finished the TP, but there is still a travel time on that Dragon's Tail projectile. So Puck simply TPing away. Nika will live another day here at this point. Live to see another day. Day has arrived. It's minute 20. Once again, Smiley's still farming. Has that 10-second BKB, so he's getting a good bit of items, but still wants more. He is the Alchemist. Quite the greedy hero, wants more items. Speaking of lack of items, we have we have Aurora on that Coddle. Is simply working on a Humble Glimmer Cape. Is close to it. Speaking of Humble, we have Clock. Has Tranquil Boots. That's about it right now. He is working on a Orchid, which is certainly not what you'd expect from a Clockwork, but certainly good this game into the Puck, into the Jug. Especially if Jug doesn't go for a Manta or a BKB early, Puck doesn't go for a Yules early. Also very good into the Phoenix as well, who does not have a defensive item to get the Supernova off. We have been seeing Baboon in the fights looking for the Phoenix, so there's a lot of logic there to the Orchid if he can get it relatively soon. Dire, no smoke. Darafin dead on Fatal Uno. They're recalling in, there'll be a full 5-on-5 fight. Hook is in, onto Cello. Can they kill him? In comes the Omni Slash. Down goes Baboon. Down goes Aurora, as also both Radiant supports are dead. Supernova will be finished. Down goes Shrek. Down goes Koryak. Whole City will be the counter trade. But now it's simply Smiley on the retreat. His BKB, but the BKB is ending quite soon. Can he run away in time away from these blinks? So he will be able to TP away, but it is still a fantastic fight for Polar Ass. They kill 4, and they only lose Whole City. It's a fantastic 4-for-1 trade. And they will parlay it into a Roshan attempt. They are in the pit. They are hitting it with Sonigod. Doing a lot of damage. Radiance, even if they have the idea they're in there, they simply are not alive enough to stop it. So Aegis will be headed to Sonigod. He's even swift slashing the Roshan. They see the momentum. They're finally killing these Radiant heroes. Killing Smiley, it's not the easiest objective in the world, but they're killing the rest of these heroes very easily in the fights. We're seeing these DK, these Night Stalkers, these tanky strength heroes. They're simply being brought down so easily in these team fights. Now we're seeing Hook in onto Fatal Uno. Fatal Uno was caught out alone, probably scouting or warding. He will Vendetta. He is dusted, but he is actually good to go. was Force Staffed away by the Sand King, had his own Force Staff as well. We're seeing a lot of these Force Staffs come out this game to counter out the Clockwork. We're seeing one coming out soon for Shelomelo. We're seeing one on both Sand King and Nyx, so they're really saying, you know what, we are not going to lose to this Night Stalker and to this Clock. We're going to force the way out of the AoE silence. We're going to force, more importantly, out of the cogs from Baboon. So good teamwork there. Good itemizations from Dire. Right now, though, we are working on BKBs for both teams. Shrek, working on a BKB, has 1 component. Koryak, working on a BKB, has 2 components. Sonigod had it in his quick buy, but actually ended up not going for the BKB. He switched it up, has a Silver Edge in the quick buy, possibly thinking of purging off that, I should say breaking the Dragon's Blood of the DK in these fights. Puck, not really a big BKB buyer, going for the Ags instead. And Whole City, going for a Shiva's Guard rather than a BKB, but we'll go for BKB afterwards. Dire, though, will kill this bottom tier 2 uncontested Radiance. Might look for their own tier 2 top lane, but it's not going to be as easy to get. Because now Dire, once they kill this tower, can TP in to defend with their Aegis. Smiley, though, is now hitting the tower. His team is backing him up. Dire actually still has not killed the tower bottom. The wave, okay, the wave is now finally here. So actually will be a relatively uncontested tower push for both teams. T2 for tier 2, safe lane tower for safe lane tower. And Radiant are still playing in this jungle. Fatal Uno looked to cancel the TP of Aurora, but he did not get it off in time. Instead, although missed on Koryak as well. So barely too late on the stun from Fatal Uno to cancel the TP of Aurora, and barely too late from Whole City to cancel the TP of Koryak. Either of those pickoffs would have been huge, especially the one on Koryak, but instead, so we'll get neither. No return to Smiley farming. Has Blink, has Hyperstone, working on that Assault Cuirass. It's going to be a situation where enemy team probably not going to have an Assault Cuirass for a while. Nice Heels really want to buy it. Might end up being the Whole City Sand King eventually, but he really doesn't want to go for that item. Speaking of big items, Baboon actually has fully finished the Orchid. So he has shown no components, I believe, this entire time. So this might even throw this Dire team heavily off guard, saying, wait, this Clock has an Orchid. And if they're being very attentive, they would have seen it right there when he's taking the Shrine. I should say the Outpost. It's not a Shrine anymore, but both teams, though, not playing in the same area of the map. Radiant playing in the bottom lane, Dire playing in the top lane, both of them going for a tower. Dire going for the top tier 2, Radiant going for the bottom tier 1. Both teams are easily going to get the towers, it appears. Yeah, both teams, Radiant already got the tier 1, are actually going to go for the tier 2 as well. Dire, they do have the Aegis for about a minute longer, so they might look to fight there. Have they smoked? They have not smoked, but they are headed towards the Radiance. Or perhaps headed towards this Radiant tier 2 tower, looking for that final outer tower of the Radiance. But Radiant have gotten the final Dire outer tower, and they're actually going high ground with that Elder form in the siege units. So Dire, TPing in, Nika has arrived, Coil is there on Smiley. We'll pop the Coil rather than a BKB for it. And Smiley will likely self-stun as well. However, looking over at these smoked heroes, Shrek will spot them with extra night vision. Fatal Uno playing around both of these Radiant supports, spotting out their vision. And Fatal Uno simply just going to be tracking these heroes in their locations. But overall for the Dire, they were unable to really use the Aegis that efficiently. They got some outer towers, but they got the outer towers at the expense of their own outer towers. And they weren't able to fight with the Aegis. But overall, keeping the Aegis away from the funny zone is still a huge bonus. So overall, the Polaris, their game situation is not that bad. They are down by 5k, they are down by 1 tower, but they're only down by 5k into an Alchemist. Looking at this 5k net worth lead, it's Alchemist and then some. Look at the rest of the team, and they're actually holding up pretty nicely. Now we're looking at key items coming out. Sonic God opting for the Basher. I believe he's changed the items in his quick buy about 4 times in the last 5 minutes. Every time I look at this man, he has different items in his quick buy. Looking over Whole City, he has not changed his items. He is still going for Shiva's Guard. Looking over at Nika, very close to Aghanim Scepter, wants to finish that for the next fight, obviously, against these BKBs. Middle lane, Whole City is being gone on, has no Yules to purge off the Solar Bind, is being stunned by Dragon Tail, is being silenced by Shrek. In comes the hook on the Shallow Metal. Whole City still alive. Mika not going in. Jets hits Smiley. Charge up the stun. Has stun up Fatal Uno. He has gone down. Swift Slash is there. She might be Omni Slash instead. So down goes Cello. Down goes War. Down goes Quirk. Down goes Baboon. It's only 2 actually. They're both BKB, but Shrek has ended. Shrek is dead. And once again, it's only Smiley surviving. He's self-stunned, but he is too fast to go down for now. But once again, it's a good trade there for the Dire. It was a 4 for 2. It did cost him the buyback of Fatal Uno, but Fatal Uno might even look for a kill here onto Smiley. The Smiley retreating to this bottom lane, but they'll... Never mind, they will not see him just yet. Polar Ass, though, might simply go for this this middle tier 2 tower push. They are hitting it. Radiant Heroes are dead for a little bit of time, but they'll be respawning soon, so they will have to be very, very fast here. Tower, now dead. Polar Ass. They've lowered the net worth lead to only 4k net worth. They're staying strong. They're being resilient. They were at a massive disadvantage earlier in the game from this they were down by a lot in terms of the Alchemist. They've really slowed the roll on Alchemist. They had this 4k net worth lead at about minute 13, and they've kept it around there for the rest of this game. You'd expect this Alchemist to snowball out of control, but they've kept them relatively in control. And more importantly, they've kept this team in control. But we are headed to the part of the game where Alk will be 6-slotted. We'll have to start buying Aghanims for his teammates. He has to finish the Swift Blink. We'll go for the Abyssal, but eventually he's going to run out of items he can buy. There's a hook top lane on Whole City. Dark Ascension is used. Stun is their concoction from Smiley. They're chasing down Whole City, and they will find the kill. However, meanwhile, they might look for Koryak instead. Koryak blinking deeper into this jungle. Fatal Uno was aware, but instead his courier will die, and Koryak will not even be attempted on, so... Good pick off there for Funny Zone. I've been talking at length about the resilience of Polar Ass, but Funny Zone, they say we don't care, we want to end this now, we want these key pickoffs. We want to hit on our Alchemist timing. Our Alchemist, he's 6-slotted. The time is now. Radiant though still playing in this Dire jungle area. Dire, bit more split on the map. Though with Fatal Uno TPing back, they could go for another 5-man play. Do they have smokes? The answer is they have 1 smoke. So with Whole City respawning, they might smoke as 5, or they will smoke as 4 instead. Possibly have Whole City TP. Not sure where he'll TP to exactly, but he'll TP in somewhere. Roshan will be respawning in 1 minute and 20 seconds, so relatively middle of the road Roshan time. Both teams are scouting it. Both teams are aware, hey, it's not there. Both teams also are aware it's Arcaner and Baboon. It's being gone on, it's been stunned. Swift Slash is there. Sonic God finds that kill. So another kill there for the Dire. But Radiant, they are retreating and say, you know what, it's our 4 support. Let him die. Roshan, we think it's not up. We have this courier here who can intermittently scout the Roshan pits. So now we know Roshan's not up. Yeah, they once again scout Roshan. Actually, we'll lose the courier here. So Baboon's courier is dead. But it's probably relatively, he's still gotta be somewhat fine with this. With the Roshan being dead, Dire cannot grab it. So Radiant can reset. Can still work on finishing key items. They're close to a Lotus on Koryak. They're close to a Solar Crest on Shrek the Green Knight. They've now finished the Glimmer Cape on Aurora as well, so they're starting to get those key items there. Question of the day is when is Smiley going to begin on the Ags journey? He has finished the Basher. Has Spider Legs as well, so you probably won't even need the you won't even need the phase boots. You can even sell it to the shop at this point and just finish the Abyssal. Roshan has respawned. Both teams appear to be aware. Dire have their courier ready or in the Roshan pit area, but Roshan said they'll head towards Sonigot. They see Sonigot, they stun off. In comes Smiley, he's bashed him, but he's been forced away by a whole city. But it's not enough, he's been stunned up by the hook. Sonigot gets the Omni Slash off, it's so much damage. Down goes Baboon, goes onto Shrek, goes onto Koryak, he's not spinning away. He actually escapes. Huge stun, huge coil. Radiant, they're melting. Down goes Aurora, down goes Shrek. Whole city finally dies. Sonigot is still alive. Smiley, he self-stuns, but Koryak has enough damage. And it will be a 2 for 3 overall. Now they're looking for Fatal Uno. Looking to make it a 3 for 2. But in comes Whole City. Keep up back, but now Aurora's buying back. Smiley, he's vesseled, he's damaged, he's dead! Koryak, he's on the TP. Can he escape? The answer is yes. But for Funny Zone, it ended up being a disaster. They only got 2, and they forced 1 buyback. Correction, 2 buybacks. But they also had to use 2 buybacks of their own, and they once again lost Smiley. And Smiley's BKB is getting very, very short. It's 7 seconds. Shrek's BKB, it's down to 8 seconds. Koryak's is down... Okay, that's actually a 10-second BKB usage. But these BKBs are getting shorter, and they're not winning these fights. Stun is there on Nika, but in comes Whole City. In comes the rest of the Dire. Koryak BKB's looking to fight, but has no Elder Dragon form. He's not that much damage. Dragon Tail once again Whole Cities, but he's forced to Fatal Uno. Whole City, he stuns on 3, but it's a Lotus Orb stun, so he's stunned as well. Whole City trying to escape. Blink is cancelled, and he is killed by the Rocket Flare. So, they wanted more. And they got nothing more than a death on their Sand King. But now Radiant might just head into the Roshan pit once Smiley is alive, knowing that Whole City has no buyback. Dire, they do scan. But Radiant are not in the pit just yet. They're simply getting the D wards out to possibly Roshan in the near future. Sonigod has respawned. He's headed mid, has Swift Slash. He has the Omni Slash in just 20 seconds. So Dire did a great job of keeping Sonigod alive in the last fight. Got a huge Omni Slash off. Got 2 kills with the Omni Slash. Looking to replicate the success once Omni Slash is once again available, which will be in just 5 seconds. Radiance, we're aware of Fatal Uno scouting them out. They dust, they drop in their sentry, but Fatal Uno has already escaped. He's simply a little bit too fast for Radiant to catch. However, Radiant are now in their Roshan pit. Acid Spray is there. Smiley and Koryak are hitting. The rest of the team is around the pit area. In Dire, with Whole City still dead, appear to be fine with simply letting the Roshan go, which might be difficult to deal with. But it is an Aegis on Koryak, and a Cheese to Baboon, it appears. So there will be no Aegis or Cheese on Smiley. Speaking of Smiley, he is almost fully kitted out. Very close to that Abyssal Blade. Has it in about 600 gold. Looking at Dire, they're trying to get whatever key items they can before the high ground time. Chillamel working on an Aeon Disc, but won't have that. Sonigod working on a Butterfly, but also won't have that. Nika appears to get it for an Octarine core. Has the Aether Lens finished, but he's still a full soul booster away from that Octarine. Whole City still working on the Shiva's Guard, obviously buying back delayed that, so he won't have that yet. And Fatal Uno working on a Yules, but will not have. So none of the key items that Dire want will be finished before Radiant go high grounds. You know, Radiant, they have the Lotus now in Koryak. They have the, they still have no Solar Crest on Shrek the Green Knight, but they still have the BKB, they still have the Shees, and the Hood. Aurora, still working on a 4-step, doesn't have that yet. And Smiley has fully finished the Abyssal, so he's fully kitted out. He is ready to go. And he has a Clockwork with an Orchid ready to back him up. So now, might just be high ground time. Their siege unit is dead, but they have more waves coming in soon. Mid wave coming in, top waves coming in. They're even cutting bottom wave on Koryak, but they'll be fully grouping. They're drawing like, alright, we're going to play over here. We're going to play in the sort of middle and top area. Push in lanes. Look for a mistake. Stun is there. On Trek, is there more? So a little bit of damage, but there will be no kill just yet. Whole City defending middle. Mid-wave once again dead. But top wave is once again coming in soon. It's the unrelenting tide, and there's still 3 minutes left on that Aegis for Koryak. Sonic God's going in here with the spin. There's a stun from Koryak onto Fatal Uno. Both still healthy. Now Smiley in the backline is looking for Cello. Omnislash is there. Backed up on Smiley. Supernova gets off though. Supernova will die, but it will distract Smiley for a good while. Stun is there on Fatal Uno. Coil was on 2 as well. Fatal Uno dead. Cello dead. Fatal Uno will buy back. Aegis is popped. Shrek in the backline says BKB does end, but he does escape over that cliff. Koryak blinks away. Dust is there, but it appears to be a successful retreat for the Radiant. They lose absolutely nobody, and they will be recalling Baboon back in. They will once again be 5. Cello Level has no buyback, and they know it. It's still on cooldown. And it might just be go time. They might still wait, though, for the Elder Dragon form. Chemical Rage, certainly that's something they're waiting for. It's up in 5 seconds. Smiley on the high ground. But now Fatal Uno has been stunned by Dragon Tail. Nika trying to help. Swift Slash was there from Sonic God. Nika dropping low. Fatal Uno dropping low. Whole City has stunned onto nobody. Now Sonic God gets finished to BKB, but he still needs to fight. Radiant, they're on the retreat. They actually have lost Shrek thanks to that Swift Slash in the Whole City stun earlier. Now, 3-man coil. Down goes Baboon. Bissell from Smiley. He's being stunned by Fatal Uno. BKB is still available. And now it's retreat time. In Dire, it was a relatively costly hold. They had to use the buyback once again with Fatal Uno. They lost some kills. But they didn't even lose a single tower. So overall, they have to be extremely content with that defense. Aegis, it is down. Smiley will not be getting any stronger for the duration of this game. He's fully kitted out. He can buy Ags for his team. He can buy a Moon Shard or an Ag Shard for himself, but he himself will not be getting any stronger. In Dire, they still have a lot of room to grow. Once Dire gets, say, the finished Aeon Disc on Chelamello, it'll be a lot easier for him to... Oh, Sonic God, he's done it. He's bought the Rapier. This man is playing to win. And you'll love to see the Rapier come out. It's a man with balls. And Funnies don't have to know their time is now. They have 2 smokes on Aurora. They might just use one of them here. Look to group, find these Dire heroes. They know there is no Aegis or Roshan in play. Can respawn in 3 minutes, but might be dead for a full 6 minutes depending on RNG. In Dire, they're grouped. They have Sonic God playing with the Illusion Escape top lane, but he can easily join his team. Look for a smoke play. Looking at smokes on them. They have no smokes, actually. They appear to have exhausted their supply of smokes. Is that one on the Courier? Okay, there's one on the Courier for Chalamet. That's probably their last smoke for now. So if they do smoke as 5, it'll be a big smoke. Radiant meanwhile, they did smoke as 5, as said earlier. They are headed towards the Tri-Camp area. And now it's a 5-man smoke into a 5-man smoke. They're now popping. They find Nika. He phase shifts. In comes Smiley. Goes for Sonic God. Need to keep him alive. He's stunned. Sonic God goes down. Rapier. It's on the floor. Supernova. Can it finish? It does finish. The stuns are there. Goes the epi. It's so much damage. But where's the follow-up damage from the team? Down goes Chelamello. Down goes Whole City. It's only Nika alive. In the Rapier, it's gone to Smiley. In this game, it appears to be over. All 4 heroes that are dead have no buyback. The Aegis is on the Alchemist. And for Polar Ass, they need an absolute miracle. Nika is cutting the wave, but they're still backdoor down for a little bit of time. Glyph is there trying to delay, make enough time for Backdoor to come up. Backdoor is up. They might just not care and hit the racks anyways. They have the AC. They have the Rapier, for Christ's sake. Somalias are dead. Range racks are dead. They're headed top. Chemical Rage is up if they want to use it. But they'll be content to not use it. Nika fully cupped up the mid wave. is looking to now cut this top wave as well. Make sure no creeps come in. But Funny Zone, they don't even need the waves. It will be 2 full sets of racks. And now, it's time for a fully clean retreat. They got what they wanted. They got the 2 full sets of barracks. And now Alchemist might not even need the Beefier anymore. He has the Cleave talent, he has the Rapier. We'll keep the Beefier in case he dies, of course, but for Polar Ass, this game is feeling extraordinarily difficult. They might go for one last Hail Mary play, but they're going to be doing it with no smokes. Nika did TP away, did not get caught there by the Funny Zones. That is one step in the right direction, but they're going to need a hell of a lot more to keep their hopes alive. And for them, it's all in. They all in with the Rapier. Rapier is down. They're down 2 sets of racks, but they understand this is their tournament life. If the game goes how it's looking, if Polar Ass loses this game, they are out of League of Legends. And now Radiant, they have once again smoked. They're once again headed towards this high ground area. Hook actually does this some Baboon. There's a stun from Whole City. Swift Slash is there. Baboon goes down. Smiley, he's fighting. The coil, it's on Smiley. Omni Slash, it's there. Hitting on Fort. This was not enough damage yet. Aurora goes down. Sonic God is trying to do damage. Supernova did go off. It did turn Shrek. Shrek dropping low. Shrek still alive for now. The buyback from Baboon. Smiley hitting Nika. Needs it back. Gets the dash. Bash is there. Puck is dead. Has no buyback. Shrek died. Had a buyback. Swift Slash once again there on Korrak. Korrak going to go down. Can he get a kill before that? Answer is no. Hook in from Baboon. But he might go down here. If he does, it'll be a dieback on him as well. Burrow is there from Whole City. There's a vessel. Down goes Baboon. And Polar Ass there staying resilient. There's the Abyssal from Smiley onto the Sonic. Sonic still alive. Smiley will finally stun Sonigod, but he actually has no chemical rage. Rapier is there on the high ground. If they can kill Smiley, this game is still in play. Swift Slash is there on Shrek. Shrek taking a lot of damage. Stun is there on 2. Puck has bought back. Buyback once again off cooldown. Chillamelo is dead. Shrek dropping low. Smiley, he's coiled, but Sonogod's dead. Sonogod buys back. Nika trying to fight. Nika not being bashed this time. Whole City once again burrowing on 2. Silence is there on Shrek. There's a vessel as well. Shrek dropping low. He'll BKB perched off the vessel. Nika trying to run, needs to escape. He's being gone on by Smiley, but in comes Cello. In comes Sonogod. Smiley though still alive. Once again killed Nika. It's a dieback on the Puck. And the retreat appears to be a bit too fast. Shrek on the run, Smiley on the run, and Sonogod searching in the trees, but does not find the Alchemist. And Alchemist escapes with his life, and more importantly, escapes with the Rapier. And it was such a valiant attempt to make that fight from Polar Ass. They fought well, but alas, they did not get the Rapier back. But they say, you know what, despite being down by 29k net worth, we can still fight. They came close to killing Shrek and Smiley in that fight. Had the fight gone slightly differently, they might have gotten that Rapier back. The Funny Zone, they are still playing bold. They are still playing aggressively. They're getting very aggressive wards up into this dire jungle area. They had wards up earlier into the Tri-Camp area, but those obviously were dewarded earlier. Puck, still dead for an entire 55 seconds, Radiance. Simply sitting in the Roshan pit, waiting for it to respawn. It respawns in 5 seconds. It's a very late respawn window, and they understand Roshan has to be up soon. There's only a limited respawn window, and it has finally respawned. Smiley, once again, looking for Roche. This time will be the much easier Roche than earlier ones in the series. Aegis will expectedly go to the Alchemist to protect the Rapier. We'll see a Shard on Smiley, it appears. Okay, we'll be on the ground for now. We'll go to... I'm not sure where. I don't know, you guys given an Aghanims to somebody, I believe Coddle? It was not the Coddle, instead to Koryak. They say, you know, we don't want the Will-O-Wisp, we'd rather have the extra level of the Dragon Form on the DK, we want the free pathing on his Ultimates, so... If I were there, I probably would have given it to the Coddle, but either way, Aegis is there on Smiley. He has the Refresher Shard as well for his BKB and for his Chemical Rage once his first life goes down. Cheese. Where's Cheese? It's on Shrek. So Shrek, once again, playing with the cheese. And now Funny Zone, they are preparing for the final high ground push of the series if they are successful. Aegis, Cheese, Shard, all there. Smiley has the Rapier. And Dire, they are now as 5, but it's a very, very hard defense. Other form is there from BK. Tower already quite low. Tower is dead. In comes Whole City, pops the Shivas, but he is stunned by Dragon's Tail. Smiley looking for the Abyssal. There's a coil there from Nika on 3. In comes the Omni Slash, doing a good bit of damage, but only Aurora goes down. Now, there's Supernova. It will be finished. Down goes Fatal Uno. Smiley dropping low. Whole City stuns himself and the DK. Sonigod working on Baboon. Baboon goes down. Aegis was popped. Smiley now in the retreats. Shrek dropping low. Koryak dropping low. This could be a full defense. Burrow is there on Koryak. Once again, BKB from Smiley. He's stunning. The Sonigod. He spins. He's bashed. Down goes Sonigod. Dead for 125 seconds. Has no buyback. Whole City. He's trying to fight, but he's going to go down. He'll buy back immediately. It's a 3v3 fight, but this is a hard 3v3 fight. Whole City, once again back, misses on everything with the Burrow. In comes Nika, tries to do damage. Down goes Whole City, is a dieback. Coil, it's on 3. Nika trying to retreat, but he's actually silenced as well. Koryak pops the coil, he goes down, but it's in exchange for Nika. Cello, the lone survivor, he's now dead, and the GG is called. And for Polar Ass, their season is over. And Funny Zone will advance to play the loser of Dark W and Nebula. And for Funny Zone, they have to be content with their showing that series. They had a pretty strong showing there. They did not falter in game 1. They were down early, but they showed perseverance. They pulled their game around. They had a commanding lead going into the late game. They just took the late game, and in game 2, it was a bit shaky, but they managed to win it. They overcame the Rapier on Jug. Simply were too far, and they hit that once again. We saw in game 1 they hit their timing windows. In game 2, they once again hit their timing windows. This time on the Alchemist. And at a certain point, it wasn't enough. Poor Ass, they tried to play. They tried, but unfortunately these team fights in both games did not go the way they wanted. Game 1, they had a bit of a sloppy team fight situation. Lost their fights. Game 2, they simply were fighting into too much net worth on the Alchemist. And even though they kept killing these heroes, they simply did not kill the Alchemist, and it was not enough to pull the game out. So overall, for Funny Zone, it is an uphill battle in the brackets. Regardless of who they play next, if they play Dark W or if they play Nebula, it is a very tough series to play. But they survived tiebreakers. They survived round 1 of the lower brackets. And they're hoping to keep this momentum going into the loser bracket quarterfinals, which will be next week. But if you want to catch some lads action before next week, you can catch the upper brackets semifinals, casted by yours truly. We'll be casting the matchup between Toxic Tacos and Step Bro I'm Stuck tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully we'll see some of you people back. Not Artorias, because he'll be playing the series, but still. Should be a fun matchup between Stepbro and Tacos. Stepbro did 2-0 the series in the regular season, but the two teams finished very similar in records at the end, so perhaps with more prep, Tacos can have a better showing. Either way, though, I'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 EST, or maybe a little bit after that, because the series probably going to start a little bit late. And I'll get to you for some more League of Legends action. If you want me casting your games or your tournaments, contact me on Discord, Badger number 5713, and have a great night.